Service cautions it will remain dangerously hot across the Tennessee and southern Ohio valleys and the mid-Atlantic following steaming hot weather from Missouri to Pennsylvania. In Chicago, residents looked for ways to cope with record-breaking temperatures in the high 90s and heat index values over 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
It is a very hot day.
Merrill Davy Hawthorne was handing out cold bottles of water on the Chicago streets.
We have approximately 4,000 bottles of water that were donated by the community of St. Sabina.
Some schools were letting out early or canceling class due to heat and power outages. Relief is expected with cooler temperatures forecast for the upper Midwest to the Great Lakes region. I'm Jennifer King.
And along with the heat, violent storms pounded Michigan. At one point, more than 350,000 utility customers left without power. As Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance campaigns today in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the Democratic ticket is on the road in one southern battleground state.
Kamala Harris will be campaigning on a bus tour today in Georgia and some of the more rural areas of the state. She will sit down with CNN's Dana Bash for her first interview as the nominee, but it won't be a solo live interview. It will be a joint appearance with running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and the interview will be pre-taped. Laura Winters, Atlanta.
The Harris-Walz interview slated to air at 9 p.m. Eastern Thursday on CNN. Israel has launched a major military operation in the West Bank. It killed 9 Palestinians, identified by the Israelis as terrorists. On Wall Street this morning, ahead of the opening bell, stock futures are modestly lower. The Dow futures are down about 34 points. NASDAQ futures off 16. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030.
Japan issuing a high-level warning as a typhoon approaches.
Transportation and delivery operators are delaying or suspending services in the south through the weekend. Satoshi Sugimoto, director of the forecast division at the Japan Meteorological Agency, says unprecedented storm winds, high waves and storm surges are expected. The highest level of caution is required. The agency says Shanshan is near the southern island of Yakushima, heading north towards Kyushu. So far, no damage or injuries have been reported. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Poland's foreign ministry says 7 Polish citizens, 6 students and 1 lecturer who were detained in Nigeria during protests there have been released and are in good health. The ministry spokesman says they'll be returning home this week. Nigeria's Secret Service says they were arrested for allegedly carrying Russian flags during a protest. Townhall.com. The high cost of caring for children and the elderly has become a hot topic in the presidential race.
Families are looking for relief from the high cost of caring for children. On this topic, the Democratic and Republican tickets for president have one main commonality. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump have supported a higher child tax credit. As one of her first campaign policy announcements, Harris said that she had worked to expand the tax credit as much as $3,600 per child and $6,000 in a baby's first year. Trump has declined to say how he would make caregiving more affordable this time around. But Congress expanded the child tax credit when he was president, and his running mate supports doing it again. In Washington, I'm Bernie Bennett.
A San Diego police officer has been killed, another officer critically hurt when a speeding vehicle crashed into their patrol car. The speeding driver was also killed. Police chief says a couple of other vehicles also involved in the crash, but those drivers not injured. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes.
It's the middle of the week.
'Tis your halfway day, your hump day, if you will.
Although, if you want to look at it, you got 2 football Friday nights this week.
Ooh, yes you do.
Because you got Thursday night football Friday night. Tomorrow night, Got It Rockets are at home.
Take on Carlsbad.
Yeah, and then Friday night, Friday Night Lights is Roswell at home. So we'll have both those games for you now. Don't forget, Goddard, it's on our sister station, 106.1 FM Kiro, so we'll have that for you tomorrow night on that sister station. Here on Roswell's Talk FM, we're going to have Eastern New Mexico University football.
Yes.
As their first game of the season. So we'll have that for you tomorrow night here on this station. And, of course, you can watch the Goddard Rocket matchup at KSB3TV.com.
Yep.
And the Goddard Rocket channel.
We got you covered from all angles.
Yeah,
coming at you from every side.
So we will have 2 stations of football. We'll have ENMU football here tomorrow night, and then Got It Rocket football on 106.1 here.
Nice.
All there covered for you.
All the pigskin that's fit to print.
That's right. I saw a trailer for a show that's on, I guess it's been on Hulu for since June. And so now I'm kind of curious about it. It's a documentary.
Okay.
From Andrew McCarthy, actor.
Okay.
He's Weekend at Bernie's would be one of the movies that most people know him from. He was one of the 2 dudes, not Silver guy.
He wasn't Bernie.
Yeah.
He was the not Bernie guy.
But anyway, he's one of the Brat Pack.
You could basically I was left guy.
Yeah. He's been in other movies, but that's just one that people probably would know him from. But anyway, of course, he's a member of the Brat Pack. Andrew McCarthy was one of them. And so he did a documentary. He put it together on the Brat Pack. And he's kind of reuniting and catching up with every single one of the Brat Packers just to see their feelings and thoughts. And because they most of them aren't very happy about the Brat Pack period.
I had heard some interesting things about that doc. I haven't seen it yet myself either, but I had heard somebody said just keep an eye on who declined to appear.
Well, I watched the trailer, and so I can tell you this much. Emilio Estevez is in the trailer. Ali Sheedy is in the trailer. Rob Lowe is in the trailer.
I think Molly Ringwald
I saw in there.
Okay, because I think I saw her at some point.
But in all fairness, I don't recall seeing a modern maybe she's the one.
Oh, maybe she's the holdout.
But they make it seem like she's in the trailer. But in all fairness, I don't think you see a modern Molly in there. John Cryer, who says he's not a Brat Packer.
Right, but he was in the fringe, of the Brat. There's a lot that were on the outside.
Leah Thompson was another one. She's like, I'm a fringe Brat Packer.
Right.
You want to say Rat Packer? Demi Moore's one that he
Judd
interviewed.
Nelson, pretty much a core Brat Packer.
I don't remember seeing Judd in the documentary, but maybe that. But Demi, I did see in there. So Roswell connection there, folks. That's right. You had a Brat Packer.
Yep, she was here.
It's on Hulu if you have Hulu, and so it looks interesting. I watched the trailer online for it because I was on Facebook and I saw an advertisement for it. And I'm like, Brats, what is this? Is this like a show? And then I Googled it and then watched the trailer. It was kind of interesting. So
Yeah, it's funny too because that's out, and then who was it? I don't remember which artist it was. I think Charlie XCX or one of them put out that Brat album like a month ago.
Oh yeah.
So now they're calling it the Summer of Brat.
Oh
yeah.
Take that, Chet Hanks.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, white boy summer, step aside. It's the Summer of Brat.
That's right. But I was watching, but it's kind of interesting. I was watching the trailer and it got me thinking. I was like, quite a few of the Brat Packers did pretty well at. I mean, they weren't. Yeah. Not many of them were one. Like Andrew McCarthy's probably one of the least famous of the bunch, and he's doing all right.
Well, I mean, and again, this is a fringer, but you got to wonder whatever happened to Ken Watanabe.
I see him every once.
I see him pop up. You know when I see him pop up in retrospectives on on the movies he was in.
No, I did feel like he was in a movie though. Like,
was he?
Yes, wasn't he involved in that movie that got a bunch of Oscar buzz about 2 years ago?
Are you talking about Parasite?
It's the Asian. It was all done by. It was like an all Asian cast.
If
Asian.
If you're talking about Parasite,
I don't remember the name of it. It was. I don't never heard of the movie. I just remember watching the Oscars like 3 years ago, and this thing won a bunch of Oscars, and I feel like he was part of that group. But maybe I'm wrong.
I might have I think it's the wrong name. Hang on. What is his name? Long Duck Dong. That's sad. That's the name.
I feel like that he was in. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe
people are screaming at the radios
sure.
right
But
now.
I thought I could have sworn like he was part of like a group that was like part of it.
Geddy Watanabe. I was close.
Okay.
Geddy Watanabe.
And he was in a couple other movies of that era.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He popped up in like a few of those movies.
I thought maybe he was. Maybe
I'm pulling up the IMDb. Let's see what we got
maybe
here.
I'm mistaken it. But
best known for 16 Candles and UHF.
UHF.
Yeah, UHF. He was in Parental Guidance from 2012. He did voices for Kung Fu Panda.
Okay, so he's working.
Yeah, he's getting some.
So
work.
I must have mistaken him for somebody else.
Yeah,
I thought there was the guy that.
He was on. Oh, he played Sato on Magnum P.I.
Huh.
Yeah.
When I think Sato, I think of Mr. Miyagi's arch nemesis in Karate Kid
Karate
2.
Kid 2.
They were like, are they brothers?
It was distant cousins or something like that.
That's what it was.
I was just listening to a conversation about Sato in Karate Kid 2 just the other day, actually.
I heard that name. I'm like, from Karate Kid? I got to think he wasn't in Karate Kid 2.
Sure. But yeah, I'd be curious to check out that doc though.
Yeah, it looks good. It's called Bratz.
It's already out. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in June.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not new. I'm late to the game on this one. I just saw it this morning.
I got caught up in a ring of Dark Side of the 90s last night. Ended up watching a bunch of those.
I know they've been showing a lot of those on Vice lately. I guess did they have a new season?
They had a
over
new
the summer?
season, yeah. Which is so. Here's the thing that kind of blew my mind. They had a bunch of interesting stories in the first season. Somehow, O.J. Simpson doesn't come up until season 2.
Really?
Yeah.
He like dominates the middle 90s.
I know. It was. I was like to the point where I was.
What
watching
they talk
it,
about in the first one?
I was watching it and I'm like, am I in season 1? Because I feel like that was the first episode. But no, that was the first episode of season 2.
Maybe they just brush over it. I feel like I watched some of those episodes, but Vice has a lot of those kind of style documentaries. The ones I like, which I haven't seen in a while because I've just recently gotten access to Vice again.
Yeah.
Was when they used to do those little mini series on movie franchises. Like they did one all about Star Wars that was really good. They did one about the Simpsons one. They did one on Fast and Furious, which I watched a little bit of, but I didn't see all of it. It was kind of interesting too. I wonder if they still.
I wonder if those are up on Hulu. I have to go look it up. Cause you remember the name of that show?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, it had a show name, but they never called it that. It was always about Star Wars.
Well, it was such and such. The Simpsons
presents
or whatever.
Simpsons. Yeah. I have to go dig that up, but I don't know. I don't remember seeing them on Hulu, but that doesn't mean they're not there.
The one I got caught up in last night was it was all about morning TV. Like you didn't realize until you were watching this just how cutthroat the competition was between like Good Morning America and the Today Show, and how they were like.
I had a sense of it.
I mean, it was vicious like behind the scenes.
It was as dirty as like the late night wars with Dave and Jay and
that's why I love Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, because it really takes that whole I'm gonna murder you in your sleep. Coming up, we're gonna check in with our senior animal correspondent. You stupid. Like, it's just, you know who's great with that? If you've ever watched the Wendy Williams show, she has this chick on named Nikki Dinky, and her whole claim to, I know her name is great, but her whole claim to fame is she has cookbooks on how to sneak vegetables into food to like get kids to eat more vegetables. And so that's her whole thing, is she shows, Wendy how to like add, make this healthier by adding cauliflower or whatever. The whole segment is just Wendy like, what's this? Oh, she'll try a piece. Okay, great. And she always has a bottle of hot sauce, and she'll just start just covering it with hot sauce. Like, that's great. Okay. She's so dismissive of this poor Nikki Dinky. I feel so bad every time she comes on.
No, it's like, why do you have her on? I mean, it's not funny. But
like, you just must be so cold backstage.
Is her show still in the air?
I don't think it is. I think she
had medical issues, right?
Well, she went to rehab, and during that rehab, Jerry O'Connell, speaking of the Brat Pack, Jerry O'Connell was one of the ones who, or was the main host. Yeah,
no, he's a morning show guy now.
Now
right?
he is, yeah.
Yeah, he's a host.
I think he actually ended up taking her slot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he
took
her
I thought she
slot.
had like a medical affliction, like something, some kind of thyroid problem.
I think she might have had something flare
cancer
up.
Or something.
I think it was cancer, but she definitely was known for like having fainting spells.
Yeah, something medically was going on with her. But anyway, probably should get this show going.
We're just rambling now.
That's right. Brat Pack. We're gonna replay an interview this hour. Amy McVeigh-Tejas joined us Friday, talking a couple things happening, including their sign unveiling tomorrow and all that. So we'll talk about that. Museum Day. We're gonna replay our interview with Matt Bristol in the 8 o'clock hour. He joined us at the beginning of the month, giving us sage legal advice as he always does. And then the folks from American Legion Post 61 will join us in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll see. I know a bunch of them are out of town doing Legion stuff. So we'll see if there's somebody in town to come visit. We'll find out. I think Jen's in town. Maybe she'll pop by. But we'll have. If not, I'll figure something else to do. But plus, we'll have all of your features. They include the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business update, local sports, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, your weather. It's a calmer, gentler rain chance weather. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of tropical air getting into our area today. We will have some sunshine with a few clouds, low to mid 90s on the afternoon high, but a few showers and thunderstorms could pop up later on today. Maybe a shower till about midnight, then a few clouds. We're in the upper 60s on the low. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, mix of sun and clouds in mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 78%. Winds are out of the north at 5 miles per hour. 20% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 94 today. Winds will be out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain continues tonight. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 70 with south winds at around 5 miles per hour. 30% chance at rain for Thursday afternoon, mostly sunny and a high of 94, south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, we're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, and an overnight low of 69 degrees with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, good chances of rain for Friday and the weekend. 60% chance of rain for Friday. For the afternoon, partly cloudy, 86 for a high with northeast winds 5 to 10. 50% chance of rain Friday night. Might want to bring a rain jacket or something if you're going out to the football game. Mostly cloudy, 67 for an overnight low. And then for the weekend, 30% chance of rain Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 86. 40% chance of rain Sunday, partly cloudy, high of 86. And then rain chances continue into Labor Day as well. 30% chance of rain on Monday, high of 85. So we'll see. Hopefully we need the moisture. Hopefully it doesn't mess up your Labor Day plans or sports plans or any other plans. All right, 7:19. We're going to take about a 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society. Don't go away. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers. Joanne Bartlett passed away in Houston, Texas. Service will be held Saturday, August 24th, 9 a.m. at South Park Cemetery. Dixie Summers Gill passed away July 5th. Service will be Saturday, August 31st, 10 a.m. at McBride Veteran Cemetery. Tracy Foucher passed away August 8th. There are no services scheduled at this time. Brittany Brito passed away August 8th. Visitation is Monday, August 26th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Services will be Tuesday, August 27th, 10 a.m. at Ballard Funeral Home, and interment following the service at South Park Cemetery. Danny McFadden passed away August 2nd. Memorial service will be 10 a.m. Saturday, August 24th at First Baptist Church, and interment following the service at McBride Veteran Cemetery. LaGrone Funeral Chapel remembers and celebrates David Joe Stogden, who passed away August 15th. Visitation will be Thursday, August 22nd, 5 to 7 p.m., with rosary to follow at 7 p.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. Mass will be Friday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. at St. John's Catholic Church, with interment following Mass at South Park Cemetery. This has been today's Remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Are bugs eating your garden and mosquitoes chasing you back in the house? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is John from Roswell Seed. You know, we've been battling bugs in Roswell since 1898. And if Jim was here, he'd draw on his immense knowledge and send you home with the right stuff. Chase the bugs out of your garden and the mosquitoes out of your yard.
Don't give the bugs a head start. Head for Roswell Seed Company and find out, what would Jim Gill do?
Attention Goddard Rocket fans! Do you love your car? Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. With special financing available, Hyundai can help regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 2 years of free oil changes. So upgrade your ride or refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, proud supporter of Goddard Rocket Sports.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in... And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you today?
I'm great. Love this time of the year, Mike. You know us.
Well, she was telling me in the off break how her husband tonight's going to need like 3 hands because he's going to have, what basically he'll be at one game and have the other two broadcasting in some way, shape, or form.
Rest assured, if you see backpacks, it'll be the iPad for Artesia, the iPad for Roswell High.
So I imagine he's going to be in the Wool Bowl tonight because Goddard's at home.
That's right.
Roswell's in Los Lunas, so that's a haul to go see that game. That fortunately. We'll have it right here for you on the radio, for audio only. Obviously, radio. We haven't figured out how to put video on the radio yet. But we do have live streaming video of the game as well, ksvptv.com. We didn't get permissions until like Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. So we didn't anticipate it because once you get up in that area, then it's kind of like West Side Story and the Sharks and where you got territories of who can broadcast and when you get up in that area, there's a thing called ProView and they actually have rights purchased from the NMAA, so that's why we can't video playoffs and stuff because they have the rights for all that.
Sure.
But when you get in the Albuquerque area, they've locked down those schools and those things, and so we come into that area just up there and it's not even just Albuquerque. Sometimes it's Four Corners. Your ProView kind of covers a little bit more north.
I see.
And so we go into these certain towns, and they say, no, you cannot video. We don't have a place for you. We don't have room for you. ProView has right to do that. They can't kick us out for radio. But sometimes we get into certain areas, and they say, no, we don't have, and so they won't let us.
Go.
So
woohoo!
Fortunately, we got it locked down here in the south. Yay! So Artesia, Carlsbad, all these places, Hobbs, we're pretty welcomed and no problem. But when we get up to Albuquerque and get out here, it gets a little interesting.
We just love that this time of the year. We just got done enjoying the Olympics.
Yeah.
Little League World Series baseball. We've got football. We've got soccer.
It reminds me, if you care less about high school football but do kind of like sports, tonight is week number 2 that the Savannah Bananas will be on national TV.
We
for
saw
5
that.
Fridays. Yeah.
Right.
This is Friday number 2 of 5. They're on if you have True TV, which is, if you watch Impractical Jokers, that's the channel that shows that pretty much 24/7. On Friday nights for the next, will be 4 after this one and 3 more. Beginning at 6, they're going to carry the banana ball on TV. And I watched the first one. They were in Norfolk, Virginia last week. And that was fun to watch. It was the first time I've seen it on TV.
See, my grandson clicked last night thinking it was on last night.
Yeah, it's Friday
and then
nights.
he realized that it's tonight.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to put it out there. Week number 2. If you missed it last week, want to check it out. It's I think it's around 6 or 7 tonight on True TV.
We're sports fans.
Yeah.
So we just got all for the love of all these games.
Absolutely. I was just throwing it out there.
No, that's
now
good.
now we'll go historical.
We've got a lot going on.
It's been busy. Of course, we just had Heritage Dinner here a week ago.
Yes.
Another success. Thank you to everyone that participated in this year, whether you bought boxes or bought a bundle or paid it forward or came out and bought some bread. And which that bread was pretty good. I finally worked through all of it here over the weekend here.
I think the Ackermans bought like 3 loaves of bread.
Well,
and
I bought it before everyone started because I knew.
You got to jump on
I got out there and I saw.
You got to watch out.
I saw Travis with the pile of bread. And I'm like, every year I wait till the end and I miss it. They're gone. I said, nuh-uh. Before car one showed up, I handed him $10. I said, "Give me a loaf of bread." I stuck it in my car, and it squirreled it away.
there you go. So I'm going to talk fast because we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But first of all, on behalf of the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, we want to just congratulate Troy Hayes. We honored him for his impact, but his impact and legacy continues in honor of his lovely wife, Linda. So just a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, because we say this and I think it gets redundant, but I don't care if it's redundant. We're going to show appreciation. It's a lot of these same companies impacting. Corporate sponsor, Xcel Energy. Thank you, Mike, and all the amazingness of Xcel. Bundle sponsors, FM Nelson, honoring the Morgan Nelson. Woohoo! Troy Hayes, he spread the love. Matt and Carol Cunningham and Veterans Outlet. The Roswell Chamber, Roswell Livestock, and Bank of the Southwest, again, generously donated so that we can give back and impact our volunteers. Awesome. Scholarship donations. So individuals that donated money in honor of Troy, helping make scholarships available in May. And huge shout out to a couple of individuals that made additional scholarships happen in December for New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy.
Nice.
That was Mary Ellen Johnston, the Alfredo Garcia family, First Roswell Company, and Tom and Tim Jennings, giving us donations to help make scholarships possible. Just a couple of other things.
Awesome.
TSI Family Fund, John and Mr. and Mrs. Bassett, the Lodwick family, Diamond Little Properties, Dr. Thomas and the Ramages, and Mary Featherstone. You know, when we say those names, I just can't express our appreciation. Times are hard. We don't have the sponsors we used to, but that's okay. We're making the best of what God gives us, and we did a great job of that, I
that's
think.
why I'm so proud and thankful for these folks. Because, I go to the grocery store. I see your grocery. I get the same bills. I get it. You go out to dinner. You're paying twice to 3 times what you used to pay for dinner. I get it. So for the fact that despite all of that and despite everything's being taxed to a greater extent financially for everyone, these folks still said, you know what, I'm going to splurge a little and buy let's face it, a meal that you probably would not pay that much for normally in your own world.
Right.
You know,
That's right. Not all of us would.
Because it's for a good cause. And so they're willing to, let's face it, use some of their disposable income to support us. And that is so greatly appreciated.
Now we're going to shout out, talk about one of your favorite topics, and that's the food.
Yes.
The amazingness of Peppers, Robert.
It was a 10.
The Rose, and everybody. Your amazingness continues. What else when you mic drop time and time again, we'll just mic drop again. I got great compliments. I got one saying the shrimp alone was a meal. One lady made 4 meals out of that one box.
I should have, but I'm fat. That's my problem.
That's so funny. and then on the sugar on top. Hey, the brownie was amazing, but we're going to give a shout out and some love to El Toro Bravo Bakery with the amazingness of their biscochitos in that bag. The bag of blessings.
I didn't even get to the brownies night one. That was night 2 dessert.
Oh,
me and Kim got into the biscochitos.
And hey, shout out to El Toro Bravo Bakery. I'm not going to lie, my grandson was helping me work last night in the archives. There were some bags left, and there is one bag left that does not have biscochitos.
And you know what? That's the thing. You can't eat just one. Next thing you know, the whole bag's gone. You're like, man, what happened? There was a whole bag here, and they were gone.
Oh, that's so funny.
And by the way,
thank you.
That brownie was a 10 as well. Like I ate it the next day, I was like, oh dang, because it was a lot going on with that brownie. There was like chips and swirls and all kinds of stuff. And but yeah, I did not eat it night 1. I was like the biscuit, and of course I was kind of full anyway, and I was like, oh brownie, I'll just eat a biscuit-cheeto or two, and then the whole bag got disappeared.
You know what? I agree with you though. We could make the second night even with the dessert. Yeah, because it was so much.
Well, and my wife did make 2 meals because what we do, and I'm sure a lot of couples do this, is we split everything down the middle. So half the chicken arpois, half the prime rib, and then the sides are the same, so everyone got their own potato, own vegetables, and we split the shrimp. And I went 3, she got 2 because she's nice like that, knows I love shrimp.
See, I didn't get home till almost 8, and our baked potatoes were still warm in the foil and everything. We ate at about 8. Yeah. So thank you. We have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, we got
words cannot express what we, and if you are listening and say, oh, I missed the Heritage Dinner. Just had a lady that did that yesterday. We received an additional donation. I'm going to give a shout out to Wanda Davis. She missed our dinner. She has never missed a dinner. What? Oh, Wanda Davis missed our dinner. She was out of town. She sent a check in, and that can continue.
How nice
So let me give you 2 things. If you want to make a donation, making scholarships possible in honor of Troy Hayes and the legacy of his wife, Linda, it is not too late. We always need additional scholarships. Number 2, if perhaps you may not have the money, but you want to share the love, we continue to give boxes of blessings to Troy Hayes with letters of appreciation, thanking him for the impact. Just got one from Youth Challenge yesterday, just got one from Peppers yesterday. We're going to continue to do that.
Absolutely.
Send the letters to 200 North Lee, and we'll share the love to Troy. It needs to.
Yeah,
it's just the gift that keeps.
Well, and he's always wanting to do more, things, and that's him. But we are almost to a point of annoyance to say we are going to remind you how much of an impact you make in this community. And for every time you do one of these scholarships, you're touching someone's life.
We are. We're impacting.
And there's hundreds of lives you've touched over the years.
And we have now. We can officially say we've impacted lives of hundreds. I really think that's really cool. and we can multiply that. You know, it's pretty easy in numbers. Give us more money, we bless more kids.
Absolutely.
And I want to see I want to see the Roswell Daily Record where we have to take out a whole page for blessing kids.
Absolutely.
So, coming up next week, our blood drive might, somebody's going to get some blessings. We're almost full, and I think we may be full. But if you want, call the museum at 622-8333. You have really cool blessings for the blood drive, 12 to 4.
It's now we're getting back into school, but this is a time of year where they're really low.
They are.
And
it's filling up. Yeah. So I think we're almost full, but that's okay. If you have the opportunity, call at 622-8333. We'll plug you in, and I'll connect with them.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, they're full, so I can't. No. Let's work together on that.
And I'm telling you right now, Amy overdoes.
Oh, we've got some goods.
Every time the Historical Society, yeah, every time we host a blood drive.
All of them, so we always give too many things in the bus, and then you can't get through. So they're like, Amy, where do we put all this stuff? And I'm like, that's your problem. We're going to bless them.
That's right.
So the blessings overflow.
Prepare to leave with a sack full of stuff.
Oh, yeah, hands full. but that's my grandmother's philosophy. Leave with your hands full, and that'll just give you a joyous week.
Absolutely.
Ribbon cutting next Thursday.
Yes.
That's Thursday the 29th.
For some reason
we'll celebrate it for a whole week.
Yeah,
so the ribbon cutting. Huge shout out to the Roswell Travis County Economic Development Corporation. Through them, with them, in honor of them, in celebration of them, and the opportunity of their facade grant, we have 2 beautiful signs. Actually, 3. We put the sugar on top of the little sign we added in. They're beautiful. They're lit. They're solar lit. List is long and distinguished.
And we're so glad to finally be here.
Yes,
it's been an ordeal.
process.
We're not going to lie. No, it's been an ordeal.
But great
getting these
things
signs
take a little, rolling up your hands. So Ken Burton did our signs. Thank you for him and his amazing team. So next Thursday, 5 o'clock, we'll have beautiful new flags up, and we're gonna cut the ribbon in the museum lawn with that big sign right on the corner. Don't stand out on the street. We're gonna be on the lawn.
That's right.
And
that is a bit busy street.
And the amazing ladies in red, the red coats will be there.
The
so
classiest
come
part
out.
of the chamber.
5 o'clock, and if you want to come just to hear Cisco sing the national anthem, there you go, Cisco.
Absolutely.
Said your name on the radio. While we're talking about the economic development, shout out to Elle with Livability. Good for them, what they're doing. I got a visit from a beautiful woman doing great things and helping celebrate our community.
Awesome.
Thank you for what you do, and they're wanting to celebrate us. Nice. I love great people doing great things, and she bought a book. Come on, Mike.
Absolutely.
Books, and here you go.
Speaking of which, it's not too early to think about Christmas shopping, even though we are in August, but some people... Don't forget, another way to help and support the Historical Society is shop through us. We have a ton of books from local authors that, we talk about. John LeMay, Donna Blake Burchell.
Yeah.
I think we still have a few Elvis Fleming books in the archive still, too.
Joyce
Peter Hurd
McCollum,
prints. Which, by the way, we're one of the few places you can get the Peter Hurd prints.
At a great deal.
The Hurd White family was very generous and kind to us to be able to do this.
Yes.
This is their way to... That's how they constantly and forever support the Historical Society. And so... If you're wanting, those make great gifts. Or
they do.
You ain't got to give them to nobody. Keep them for yourself. It's your,
literally celebrating history by putting art on the wall, and that's mutual.
Yeah. But if you're thinking of cool holiday gifts, then unique things, please shop the Historical Site. Go to roswellnmhistory.org and check out all the different books, the Peter Hurds, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, there's so fun. Even John was wowed by it. John came in to autograph a book yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, wow, Donna's book, her new one, The Scoundrels. It's looking pretty good.
Looking good.
And it's looking good, and it's pretty thick. I'm telling you, it's going to get your money's worth." Hey, where I'm going with this is that thick book of Scoundrels, I'm thinking there might be part 2 or something.
Might need it.
She had quite a bit of...
We had a lot of scoundrels in southeast New Mexico.
She had a lot of material to work with. Because, you know what I will say? John's books, they're a nice size. Donna's coming through with the value. She's got some...
I grew up in D.C., so I could appreciate this more, but it's like if you go around here and you get the phone book, and it's like that little book thing. But if you get the phone book in like D.C., it's like 2 books, and it's this thick.
It's a
and so
book.
I think the
That's
Scoundrels
exactly
book
right.
is turning into...
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing part 2 of this, and then they're going to go to males and females. Hey, and then I think it'll be, it's going on and on and on. A lot of things going on, and I know we're going to be on the radio talking about it next week. And I was talking to Elle about it yesterday. We're so excited to celebrate museums. And I think we need to always just say 7 and thank the 7 museums of Roswell. And even though this museum day is coming up, and I know you'll talk about it on the radio next week.
September 14th.
We want to remind people to celebrate our 7 museums 24/7, 365, especially with the events we've got coming up. Remember to remind people and say, 7 museums of Roswell.
Well, and we had such a great turnout for the first annual museum day.
If you want to volunteer, we'll take the volunteer.
And so we are doing this again because, people that have never set foot in Historical Society, Walker Aviation Museum, the Art Museum, McBride,
the miniatures.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think most people realize there is a little museum at the Institute.
There's a lot.
And quite frankly, there's cool things in there. Like there's a Medal of Honor in there. If you've never seen a Medal of Honor up close in person, there's one in there.
There's mic drops at every museum.
Celebrity stuff, like if you want like Roger Staubach stuff or just various old
making
military
those
uniforms.
New Mexico Military Institute connection.
Seeing what life was like as a cadet, say in the 20s and 30s
we
there.
Need to
you
celebrate
see all
that.
But they got a Crow Museum, and Museum Day showcases all of these museums that Roswell, we have so much culture and cool things to do in a town of this size. you do not realize what you have in your own
We do.
backyard.
We
so use
absolutely
September
do.
14th as that day to say, you know what,
All
we're going to
day.
make the day. Now they're going to give you incentives, like you go and
heck
you
no.
fill out the passport deals.
So bottom line, if you could, and it's 10 to 5, bottom line, if we'll give you your little passport, if you go to all 7, you'll be put in a drawing for large prizes. We're going to have, I'm going to put the challenge out there for 7 museums. We have something really cool we're working up for our little historical society blessing.
Okay.
Mike, it's like going to be big, like 5 foot tall kind of thing.
Okay.
So shout out to Elaine and we're working on some fun things. So
Okay.
let me say this on behalf of the historical society, we're going to have Chuck Wagon there, Mike, heck yeah. The Drewsdoms, thank you, John and Sharon, will be there with our Chuck Wagon. We're going to have some face painting going on.
Nice.
We're going to celebrate
gonna be
some
a little
history.
festival going on at the
we've got
historical society. Yeah.
We have blessings as usual for the first. I think for the first 50, we're going to have really cool blessings. We're going to have blessings throughout the day.
Yeah.
John will be there signing books. We have a lot of fun things.
Sure. And,
so
and
it'll
come
be
see
fun.
the beautiful home that is the JP
For
White
sure,
home.
for sure. And don't make it a day and go to all 7. The one thing that bothers me is, it really, really bothers me, because when we meet, we was like, oh, they have to spend 10, 20, 30 minutes. No, if you only have a couple of hours, I would rather you go to all 7, realize the amazingness, so you can go back and enjoy all of us later. Rather than making it just about one of us. Let's celebrate all 7 and then see how many, like every weekend you go to another one or something like that.
That's the beauty. Guess what, folks? That museum will be there on Monday morning when you come back, when it's closed. And that's we're just trying to show you, hey, you got beautiful treasures here in your own backyard. Get out and check them out and see what you got here, and everything from the International UFO Museum to us folks at the Historical Society to the folks down there at Walker Aviation Museum. All are celebrating Museum Day and all want you to come out and see the cool treasures that Roswell calls home and has. And so... and by the way, yes, get the passports, fill out for the prizes, but please, like I said, and when you do find places, you're like, oh man, I want to make a point to come back, make it a point,
see it, and then come back and make.
Like I have the Walker Aviation folks on every month, and the stories they tell me about, especially like during this time of year during the summer, because that's when people go on vacations and things. And almost every summer, there's families that called Walker home at one point or another, whether as kids and their parents served, or maybe they served and now they're,
You're so right, Mike, because I'll give you an example. A lot of them are the same individuals that will call us.
Yeah.
May not have time to do a tour of the museum. Rest assured, they're going to go into our archives. They're going to look in those city directories. They're going to make unique connections.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
And so you get those unique connections. And so you know what? If you want to go one step further, go be a docent. Historical Society, we'd love to have more docents. We're always looking for more. But I can tell you the other museums are probably equally looking for volunteers to do that.
I think I would love people to spend a little bit of time at all of them. So the more they're at one, they'll be able to talk about the others. Well, I really think that's what.
And I think what you're going to find out is all the museums are connected in some weird... because it's all Roswell.
Well, guaranteed.
Because you know dang well what they're talking about at the Walker Aviation Museum. There's some stuff talking about the Alien Museum that are exactly the same. And we're the Historical Society, so we're everything.
So we're connected. Yeah. I think everybody has their passions. And they'll come and say, I'm really not into history. And what you find out, they're really into history, sports, whatever.
Sure.
We just want to, on behalf of Museum Day, I want to be one, to be quite frank with you, I want every day to be Museum Day.
Absolutely.
And every day, meaning it's not about us, one of us. It's about all of us. And we just want to celebrate the history of our area and the legacy of culture and art.
Absolutely.
So
and then keep
make
the
every
tradition
day
growing.
Museum Day.
This is keeping this stuff going and keeping the next generation and bring your young kids and showing them. That's part of this Museum Day, too. I think it's part of this is as families, you're kind of sharing the history of their backyard and showing them where they come from.
Mike, I think a long time ago when we made a life choice to be a beacon of light through some of our hard times and challenges, we continue to want to be a beacon of light. And one thing I want to challenge our locals to do is we have a bad habit sometimes of being Debbie Downers. And let's share love. And don't you dare say there's nothing to do. Now, we know that's off the table, but I hear it all the time. Embrace what we have so that we can share the love with everybody else. And again,
absolutely,
come on now.
Absolutely correct.
Come
and by the way,
now.
I bet there's still people like in New York City going, there's nothing to do in this town. And you're like, you're the busiest city in the world. There's nothing to do. People will say what people will say. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of when we go to athletic activities and people say, why are you there?
Yeah.
And we say, we're here for the love of the sport.
I heard that kind of thing in
Embrace
D.C. too.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
embrace that. Embrace what we have to offer. The impact is great. It can be greater. Together, we're better. We are. And we have to get over ourselves. And on behalf of Character Counts, let's get over ourselves and find the good in our communities and share the love with everybody. The impact can be great. Talking about historic things coming up, mark your calendars for Saturday, October the 12th.
Yeah.
From 10 to 2, we're going to have a historic book fair. John will be there autographing his new books. We're going to have blessings. Blessings will overflow with, so our first individuals that purchase will get additional books. No, we are not selling off the archives. We'll say that every time.
Yeah, let me.
Here we go.
Here's
Here we
the deal.
go.
This is how it works. Is we have a blessed community. They make donations. They donate things that to put into the archives that are historical, and we get some great stuff from folks. But one thing we do get a lot of is books. We get a lot of books, and we'll get a lot of same copies of a book. So we may have, and these are rare books, but we may have 2 or 3 copies of them. We don't need 2 or 3 copies.
No.
We need one for the archives, maybe one other, just depending. So what we do is we'll take the best preserved copy, the one that's in the best shape, the one that has the least issues with it. That's ours. We're keeping it. It's going to the archives for the rest of history to have. But if we've got 2 or 3 of these books, then from time to time we have these historic book fairs and we offer them up. And people can come and buy them at a discount price, but that money turns around and goes back to the Historical Society. It pays for archive stuff or these programs or Museum Day or many of the things we do. Or fixing leaks in the roof or whatever.
Example yesterday, Gary, if you're listening, he's a silent angel of ours, and he can stay that way because that's where he wants to be. But shout out to Gary. He came in, Mike, with bags of books the other day, and he said, got a book fair coming up. I want those to all go to help you. We also have additional copies. Before I forget, there's so many things. Dewey Johnson autographed extra book, his books. If you missed our events, all for the love of the game, his new book is autographed, and we have them only while supplies last.
That one will smell different. Like all the others will smell like old books. That'll smell like new books.
Yes. So
let me ask too, because this is something that people ask for too. Is a lot of times we'll get books that aren't necessarily valuable, but they're old and cool looking. And so people like to buy those for decor and stuff. Do we have some of that for this fair?
We do. And if you have some of those and you don't know what to do with them,
we'll take
I'm going to give you a perfect example. And I love some of these ladies. I won't mention their names. They make amazing book arrangements because I saw some at the Holiday Magic Bazaar. Shout out to them and their amazingness coming up in November.
That's
we'll
right
have
around
a
the
table.
corner too.
It will. But those precious ladies have come to our book fair and wrapped them up, and you can make a book arrangement.
Cool.
So yes, we have them. Yes,
Excellent.
we need more, and
like
we never have too many. And I've done that for years.
Sure.
So you
and
can.
by the way, sometimes you go through there and they're not rare per se or even valuable,
they'll be random
but they're old. But you go through there like, man, this is an old Hardy Boys book I remember reading as a kid.
Exactly.
And you maybe just want it because you're like, I'm gonna go read that thing.
Well,
I read it 30 years.
You can open it up and it go down.
So there is in that pile too. So if you're looking for little nuggets like that to read, you'll probably find them.
So if you have them, we still need them for donations. Or yes, we're going to have a little bit of everything, and we have received some really cool treasures that we have multiples of.
Absolutely,
we're going to really have some cool books available.
Absolutely. So, but be warned, we're not selling the archives. we're just taking the over excessive stuff that we have and making it available to the public that like to collect these kinds of things. And plus it keeps in the vein of what people donate, because people donate to us because they want to preserve or they want to support the Historical Society. And so we've already got it preserved. So thank you for supporting the Historical
and we're going to
Society.
continue to preserve and preserve and preserve. But at the end of the day, we all know everybody can't keep everything.
Absolutely. And that's just it. We're it's a fine line between archive and pack rat.
I get that look exactly. And Mike, I get this look so many times when we tell people we're running out of storage, and they'll look at both of our buildings like, are you crazy, lady? And I'm like, no, we're not crazy. We have a lot of valuable archives that we treasure, we preserve, and we keep them secure.
Maybe that's the thing we do. is like maybe during like museum day, do a drawing where you let maybe a handful of people just walk through the archives just to see the volumes of things that are in there.
We have special. Yeah, that's right. Hey, if let me just put the challenge out there. Just fun things. We love to have fun. We're going to always have fun. No matter what, through it all, we're going to have fun. If you call the museum, 622-8333, you say, Amy, I want to become a member and I want a special tour. You got it. Again, I'm going to say it. We're going to make it happen. You want to see the attic?
Yeah.
You want to see the basement? You want to see something special? John LeMay, Elaine, our sweet actors, that you want a special tour? We'll give it to you. 622-8333. We need members. We need members, Mike. We need members. Well, as low as $30.
And membership can be, you can be members as a couple, individually, as a business, or a nonprofit, as an entity, organization, all of the, but we have various levels. There's perks. Obviously, you get the newsletter, you get things, you get,
shout out to Ballard's. Ballard Funeral Home just renewed their membership the other day, and they gave me some information celebrating their legacy of history. That came to mind because they just renewed the other day.
And obviously, people that are members, we do, when they make requests from time to time, we jump through those hoops for them because they are our members.
And celebrate their history in the newsletter. If you're renovating a home, you're doing something, we want to do a feature. That's who we are. That's what we want to do.
And then the other thing I'd like to offer, too, is because this is another form of income and keeps the doors on, the doors open, the lights on, is our archives facility is available for rentals as well, too. We can handle small get-togethers, small parties. There is a not commercial kitchen. It's a home kitchen, but if you need to heat up food or whatever for a little event, I don't think you're going to be making Thanksgiving dinner in there, but if you got food,
you really could.
You could. It's just going to take a while,
right?
And it worked for a family of 8. I don't know about a family of 30, but
we could do.
But we got that, and I think it's a capacity is about 75 there.
Right,
so you could have
50 comfortable if you're going to do a sit-down formal meal, theater style. Just shout out to congratulations to the Leadership Roswell class. We'll be part of their first class. Shout out to that continued
legacy. They always
legacy.
Make a visit, usually that first class to the Historical
John LeMay will be
Society.
doing his presentation, and I love the fact that one of the last things they do on their first day is take a tour of the museum.
Absolutely.
And I love we're celebrating history.
I think they're having their opening reception the same day we're having our ribbon cut now. I think about it, too. So.
It's next week.
It's next week.
It's the next week.
Oh, it's a week after.
That's
My
exactly.
brain is so...
Well, it's okay. If you're a week ahead, that's fine. It's like you're not a week late. So
I can't. It's that time of year.
Yes.
I'm
so next Thursday, come up for the ribbon cutting, 5 o'clock. Then the next, you're right. Then the next week, we're going to, that's the beginning of the Leadership Roswell.
Yeah, I thought they were all the same. I think all next week's the same week.
Well, we can get some things done.
Because I'm thinking it's like next week, and then we're in September or something,
well,
right?
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
But there's so much going on. RoswellNMhistory.org is kind of, you can see everything we talked about here. If you want to learn more about the book fair, if you want to get books or anything like that, if you're interested in becoming a member, if you want to do a little shopping, all of that at our website, RoswellNMhistory.org.
If you have questions, call 622-8333. If you need immediate assistance, you can text or call me at 575-915-4471. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. A lot of fun updates, just different things going on.
And definitely see us on September 14th, if not sooner.
Woohoo.
And
That's
visit
right.
the other. Trust me, if you've never been to Walker Aviation, if you've never been to the Roswell Museum and Art Center, if you've never set foot in the
If
UFO
you haven't
Museum,
been to one, start there. That's a good idea,
trust
right?
me,
Start at
each
the
one
one
of
you
your
haven't
treasures,
been in.
and please make a trip to the NMMI, the museum at NMMI. It is. To be honest, the first time I saw it was this past summer.
Oh, good.
The first time I
wow.
took a tour of NIMI for family, and I walked, and I'd spent a good. Like, they were still doing the tour. I was like, I'm just going to hang here and walk around the museum for a little bit. I spent time just looking at everything. It's really cool.
Special.
You could easily spend an hour, hour and a half in there.
I love it. We just love to walk on that property, that legacy, late 1800s.
Yep.
I'm just so proud to have that in Roswell.
Absolutely. So September 14th is the day for Museum Day. But go see them between now and then.
That's right. Don't wait until then, and then enjoy that event. Let's put it this way, and you're right. Go tour the museums now, and then on that day, you can go through all of them and have a little bit.
Because
we'll have special
that
opportunities.
way you can catch them all, get your swag bags.
That's a great idea.
Do your heavy lifting now.
You've got plenty of time.
And then you can roll in, get your passport signed, show a couple things, and then move on to the next museum.
That's exactly right.
So, well, as always, Amy, appreciate
Have a great
visit.
weekend.
Thank
you very much.
We'll see you next time, and don't work too hard and stay cool.
There you go.
Enjoy football tonight.
Yeah, we will. That's for sure.
All right, 8:55. Let's do your Red Apple Market Report.
Hospital announcing major plans to build a new campus on the north side of town. The new facility would replace the hospital's primary facility over the next 5 years. AGH says the new hospital would serve all of Eddy County, including patients from Carlsbad and Artesia, and smaller communities like Loving and Hope, and even Roswell to the north in Chavez County. The project is pegged for about 250 acres near Mill Road and US 285. The hospital itself would cover about 65 acres, with other plans to fill the rest of the land with housing, dining, and retail business. New Mexico could get another big windfall due to the problem of abandoned oil and gas wells. The federal government's Interior Department said this week it's offering 21 states, including New Mexico, a total of $4.7 billion to clean up abandoned wells. New Mexico's share would be $35 million in the first phase of the program. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Running a business is tough. Operational demands change fast, and keeping up can feel impossible. That's where DSI comes in. We've been helping local businesses thrive for over 25 years. You might know us for printer products, but we're your one-stop shop for cutting-edge office technology. From managed IT to video security, audio-visual technology, and more, DSI has everything you need. We're flexible, local, and have the resources of a national corporation. Be more productive. Make more money. DSI, the heartbeat of business. Visit DSINM.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Let's catch you up on some soccer. Unfortunately for the Roswell Coyotes boys and girls, it was not a great day yesterday, though very competitive games. Roswell fell to Artesia in overtime by a score of 2-1. That was in Artesia. Roswell is now 2-1 on the season. And the same kind of thing, the same score at least, was the Roswell girls at home playing Los Lunas, and the score was 2-1. Roswell is now 3-2 on the girls' side. As far as the Goddard girls, we thought they were playing last night. Had a game at Valencia in Los Lunas, but didn't get a score from that one. Boys soccer, the Rockets are seeking their first victory against Los Alamos at 8 a.m. Friday, and that'll be at the Los Alamos soccer tournament. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. American consumers felt more confident in August as their outlook for the future improved. The Conference Board, the Business Research Group, said Tuesday that its Consumer Confidence Index rose to 103.3 in August from 101.9 in July. Members of the boards of directors overseeing the Chicago and New York Federal Reserve Banks voted in favor of lowering by a 0.25 percentage point the central bank's discount rate during July. The Fed said in a press release 10 of the 12 regional Fed banks wanted to maintain the discount rate at 5.5%. While many costs have come down for small business, rents remain high, forcing many owners into some uncomfortable decisions. Other owners are choosing to be late on payments or seeking out new locations. Home improvement retailer Lowe's has scrapped some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, becoming the latest U.S. firm to modify such policies. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford Credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices. So come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's an effort to resurrect a dead witch hunt. It's an act of desperation. That's how former President Trump is describing his latest indictment in the 2020 election interference case. After being slapped down by the U.S. Supreme Court, Special Counsel Jack Smith targeting Mr. Trump with a new indictment.
Jack Smith is keeping the same criminal charges, but he narrowed the allegations against Trump following a Supreme Court opinion granting broad immunity to former presidents for official acts. The new indictment removes items covered by the immunity ruling, including Trump's interactions with the Justice Department. But it keeps allegations related to the former president's interactions with the Vice President Mike Pence. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Amid the excessive heat, powerful storms have rolled across Michigan. At one point, more than 350,000 electric customers were left in the dark. As the fall semester gets underway, anti-Israel protests have erupted again on the campus of Cornell University. At least one building has been vandalized with graffiti and some windows broken. Israel's military confirms operations this morning in the West Bank. The Palestinians claim the raids killed at least 9 people identified by the Israelis as terrorists. In a victory for conservative and traditional values activists, home improvement chain Lowe's scaling back some of its DEI commitments.
Robbie Starbuck, a conservative political commentator, took credit for the changes announced by Lowe's, saying that he had contacted a Lowe's executive last week with his plans to expose Lowe's over topics such as hiring policies. Over the last week, Lowe's has also knocked down a different claim spreading on social media, in which a digitally altered image quoted Lowe's CEO as saying that conservatives who didn't like Lowe's values should instead shop at rival Home Depot.
Townhall.com.
Americans now have more credit card debt than any time.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
It's a post-Brexit fence-mending mission.
As he arrived in Berlin, the Prime Minister said he wanted to turn a corner on Brexit and fix the broken relationships with the EU's biggest players. In a meeting with Chancellor Scholz, both leaders will declare their ambition to sign a treaty covering defence cooperation, trade and illegal migration. And both sides want the negotiations to conclude within 6 months. Sir Keir will also meet the German president before travelling to Paris, where he will attend the Paralympics opening ceremony and meet President Macron.
The BBC's Henry Zeffman in Berlin. A severe drought in northern Greece, worsened by successive heat waves and low rainfall, causing water shortages that are threatening agriculture, drying up lakes, and stressing local communities that depend on tourism. Farmers are struggling to irrigate crops as groundwater supplies dwindle. They're trucking in water in a bid to salvage their livelihoods. News and analysis, townhall.com. Those pesky mosquitoes can put a crimp in your summertime fun, or more than just a nuisance, they can be dangerous disease carriers.
People in some areas of Massachusetts have been warned to stay indoors when mosquitoes are most active after a rare case of eastern equine encephalitis was discovered. And Dr. Anthony Fauci, the former top U.S. infectious disease expert, was recently hospitalized after he came down with the West Nile virus. Both are nasty diseases spread by mosquitoes, though they are relatively rare. The best way to avoid getting sick is to avoid getting bitten. That could mean using repellent and staying indoors when the mosquitoes are out. John Scott reporting.
A Pennsylvania ammo plant that makes a key artillery shell in Ukraine's fight against Russia has managed to boost its production by 50% to meet surging demand. There's more capacity in the pipeline. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday. Made it to the middle of the week.
It's, we joke about how whenever it's over 100 on the NOAA weather page, the sky changes from blue to orange. Just having these last couple of cool days, it does feel like the sky is sort of like changed colors. Like it's not like as intense anymore.
Well,
it was never orange, but it's just not as intense.
Well, I can tell you this now. When I looked at my National Weather Service page now, lots of blues and greens. Not so much reds and oranges.
Nice.
So.
You're hoping for blues and greens.
Yes.
You're trying to avoid them reds and oranges. such angry colors. They are evocative of such feelings,
Yes. Yeah, these are calmer, gently. Like, you know how they always say, like, you shouldn't paint bedrooms like reds or those colors, you paint them more blue. There's something to that.
Here's another tip when it comes to choosing colors. Don't let your 4-year-old son decide.
Probably.
Just a pro tip.
What? I'm just curious. What did Hunter go with?
The color is called Bordello, I believe.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, no. It looks like blood. It does kind of look like blood. And
maybe
he wanted a red. I'm like, I'm not going to paint my house red.
Well, this is the outside.
Yeah, this is
not
the
bedroom.
exterior.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, I'm just inviting the demonic presence over my place. That's all that is.
I had a house that was terracotta. But yeah, it was a reddish.
That's kind of what I was going for. It was kind of like that terracotta.
Yeah.
shutter color almost.
Yeah. Now I got that brown color. 2 shades of brown, light brown and dark brown.
But it's sort of like when I was a whole other me, a lot younger, and you decided you wanted to bleach your hair. But in order to do that, you have to like lighten the color first, then you can apply the bleach. And yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't do all this.
That's otherwise you end up with what I looked like at the Foo Fighters concert, was with a bright yellow head.
No,
Safety green shirt and a bright yellow head.
I guess my time in the military kind of prevented me from doing crazy hair things and things like that. The only thing I ever did remotely like that was when I worked at the Boy Scout camp when I was like 20, 21. And I grew me a mustache.
Oh.
That would have made old Tom Selleck proud.
Okay. This is the hill that I'm going to die on. There are very, very, very few exceptions for when just a mustache, when just a mustache is acceptable. Tom Selleck is like Tom Selleck is essentially the only one.
Yeah, that summer, I went straight stash, and it was glorious.
That is a tough sell. It's hard to not look like a gay lifeguard. You're just rocking a mustache.
In all fairness, I was working at a summer camp for the summer. I'm hanging around with Boy Scouts all. It was just me being goofy.
Better?
Well. There was no chance of me dating women during these 3
fair.
months.
You're like, this is my time to experiment on me. I like that.
It was hanging out with the boys during the summer.
There you go.
Thing. That was that type of
fellas be felling. Dudes do be dudin'.
Yeah.
But you also lucked out because you grew up, I would say, just a shade behind the generation of Frosted Tips.
Oh, thank God.
It really kicked off with like 90210, that kind of Melrose Plague, those shows is when you really started to see like the Frosted Tips.
Yeah, that's why I joined the military right around, shortly after that time.
It hit its peak whilst you were serving with the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys generation.
Yeah, and my hairstyle was pretty simple back then. It was just short.
It sucks having the kind of hair that I have because it's just not heavy enough.
Right.
It never was. All I ever wanted as a kid was to have the butt cut.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted the center part. I would have been happy with that.
Although during that time, I did sport the sideburn situation.
Yeah.
Like, because that was like Luke Perry and all those guys. It was kind of a thing during that time. And in the United States military, you can have sideburns as long as they don't go past your ear hole.
Okay.
And so I went right to the ear hole.
Acceptable sideburn, I'm okay with. I still rock a bit of sideburn.
Yeah.
But when I see like there's a trend of like kids wearing their sideburns down to like here.
Yeah, like almost Burnside mutton chop situation.
Very close. If it were just a little fluffier.
By the way, kids, Burnside, that's why they're called sideburns. He's a general.
Yes, Burnsides. But it was a real look for a quick minute. Thank God that passed. Thank God that passed.
But there was that Luke Perry at his Luke Perryist. Oh, it was kind of cool to have the sideburns. 1991, 90, 93, that area. Yeah.
I don't remember what the context was, but recently I was privy to many, if not all, of my high school senior graduation pics. And boy, howdy, is that cringe. If you ever get a chance to go back and relive those years, it was sweater vest, puppy dog look, because I was really going for the pout, in a lot of the pictures. And of course, there was one of those where something interesting must have really happened right up here, right before they snapped the picture.
I have a middle school pic that's got one of those. It's the two-shotter.
No, with you looking at it fading a little bit.
Yeah, it's a middle school pic.
That's the Step Brothers picture.
And it's the black background. So it's like the fade to black with me kind of cloudy silhouetted in, kind of just sitting there like it's that pose. And then the one in the corner of me like looking up to the sun.
I think I even did one of these. And that was back when I had no semblance of facial hair, so it was just all chin.
Yeah. And of course, little do people know, Sean, eked a living out for a little bit taking photographs and making kids laugh and cry and everything.
That's why I limp to this day. I used to, pratfall and throw myself to the ground to get kids to laugh.
He's doing Chevy Chase pratfalls.
If you have a picture of your kid from like 2003 to like 2005, that was probably because I took a pratfall for him.
There you go.
You're welcome, Mom and Dad.
So many smiling kids in the early 2000s.
I do what I can,
But but my high school was more. That was the feathered years, and so my senior pick, there's a feather, and that's when I got the wave back here, and that was the epitome of my hairdom right there.
It was when Mike could have put a parasol up in there.
Yeah, that was the max hairdom.
Welcome to the thickness.
And back in the day, I get my hair cut like, your hair is so thick, man. And it was like, everyone's like, I was like, I'll never have this problem. Here we sit, Kojaking it up. Yep. But
now if I get a 3-mile-an-hour wind, my hair is just destroyed. It's basically David Spade and Tommy Boy.
That's right. One thing about this, I love that part. I don't want to mess with it. I get up out of bed, it's like, oh no, I have a brush, a comb. I use it for my beard every once in a while. That's the only reason it's still in the drawer. I pulled it out once in a while. I'm like, oh, I have a brush. I forget.
So since I've been doing this whole side part thing, I don't think there's ever been 2 consistent days where I've had the part in the same place. Like, it's one of those things every day I'm like, did I get it right? Because if you hit it in a certain spot, it's perfect. And it'll stay that way. Every other time, if you're like a centimeter off either direction, your whole day is messed up.
Yeah. I try my that's how I had my hair. My mother, when they raised me, that's how they comb my hair, and so it was always combed that way. But yeah, after so many years of it, it's really you just know.
It's just trained.
It just shows there, and every once in a while you start combing, and you're like, hey, that's not right, and then you hit, there's the part.
That at least a couple of times a week I'll have to I'll start doing it, just start over, comb it back.
The cowlick is the bigger problem with the side part.
Yeah.
It creates the cowlick situation over here. You gotta
well, that and headphone hair.
Oh, yeah. I got to get my interview going.
Yes, you do.
But I got to say this real quick. When I was in the military, I was in Wichita Falls, Texas, at tech school, and I had a day off. And so it was me and some friends, and we were just walking around in the mall, just diddy-bopping around the mall,
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. And I got to walking behind this 2 people, a guy and a girl. And there was a guy in front of me. I've never seen cowlicks look. It looked like I was watching the Weather Channel and 2 hurricanes were coming in at the same time. Like, he had not one, but like 2 cowlicks back there going on.
Wow.
Like one here. And I don't even know how he got there.
Like 2 birds about to mate.
Yeah. And I swear I kept watching. I was fascinated by it. I followed this guy around just to see his cowlicks.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, but I swear it looked like the Weather Channel. It was like it was Hurricane Hugo and Hurricane Trent coming in to the coast. It was crazy.
I would have loved if as soon as they connected, you just screamed, super hurricane, and then just ran off the other direction.
But I was like, I felt bad. I was like, man, can someone help this dude's hair? Because this ain't right. This man has been saddled with not one but 2 cowlicks.
Say what you will. Got the girl.
True that. True that.
The man got the girl, and he had you following around watching him.
But in all fairness, never saw the front. So I don't know what 2 cowlicks get you.
He was all about business in the front, weather in the back.
Right.
News in the front, weather in the back.
On the 8s. It's 8:17.
Oh, so close.
Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of tropical air getting into our area today. We will have some sunshine with a few clouds, low to mid-90s on the afternoon high, but a few showers and thunderstorms could pop up later on today. Maybe a shower till about midnight, then a few clouds. We're in the upper 60s on the low. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, mix of sun and clouds in mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 69% with winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. 20% chance we could see some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mostly sunny. And a high of 94 today with southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain continues tonight Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 70. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. 30% chance at showers for the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny and a high of 94. 30% chance of rain into Thursday night as well. Partly cloudy overnight low of 69 degrees. Friday, rain chances increase. 60% chance at afternoon showers on Friday. Otherwise, partly cloudy and a high of 96. Winds will be out of northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 50% chance of rain Friday night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. And then for the weekend, rain chances continue 30% on Saturday with a high of 86. 40% chance of rain Sunday, also a high of 86. All right, it is 8:19. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Office. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Mary, come on in.
Thanks for the invite. Your house smells great. What is that?
I went and had a custom candle made at Farm and Ranch Candle Company here in Roswell. They're a local candle bar, and I was able to make my very own custom scent candle.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company? That is so cool. Do they have any other stuff?
You bet. They have a whole mega station to stock up on Trump tumblers, t-shirts, and more. Plus bridal and baby shower, handcrafted steel furniture, and so much more. Farm and Ranch Candle Company can make everything smell better.
Everything?
Well, almost everything.
I'll get the diapers.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company, where patriots shop. Stop by 117 East 2nd on the corner of East Main and 2nd in Roswell.
Check out some of the Labor Day bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select 12 packs of Shasta sodas are 3 for $12, and select bags of Kingsford charcoal are $8.98 each. In produce, various heats of fresh New Mexico green chili are 99 cents a pound, and seedless watermelons are $4.99 each. In the meat department, pork baby back ribs are $1.97 a pound, and 10-pound bags of fryer leg quarters are 49 cents a pound. These are just some of the Labor Day savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Do you love your car?
Yes.
Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us and good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol back with us this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing well. How was your weekend?
It was good. Nice and quiet. Played a little golf tournament with the First Tee folks on Saturday.
Great program.
Great program.
If you're not familiar, they work with youth, basically bringing golf to the youth. And they use it as to get more people interested in the sport of golf. But at the same time, they teach these kids life lessons and skills. And they got kids. I mean, they basically have to build custom clubs because these kids are so little starting golf. They're literally some of them are just walking. Now they're hitting them with a golf ball.
Well, not quite that small. I did ask what was the minimum age.
Yeah.
And it's basically kindergarten or first grade.
Sure, but it's pretty young.
It's pretty young, yeah. And scarily enough, they don't have plastic clubs at that age.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so.
But they're a great organization.
Great organization. Adrian's been doing it for 19 years.
Yeah, and so yes, if you're golfers out there and looking to find ways to give back to the community, I highly recommend First Tee of Southeast New Mexico.
And they teach character and a lot of good stuff for the kids.
They help create foundations for kids. That's what they do through golf.
And you were teasing Sean, but didn't he have a birthday last week?
He did. He turned the big 4-0.
The big 4-0
last week.
Oh my gosh! Happy birthday,
Thursday.
Sean!
Yeah.
Wherever you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's getting older. That's why I made the joke about things change when you get older.
Yeah. I wanted to explain that to the audience.
It's all downhill.
He did have the birthday, yeah. And then you had your anniversary weekend.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Kind of a busy. So good thing no one booked anything in real important this weekend. Or we didn't. Everyone's.
And you drove through Artesia?
Well, I didn't go through Artesia, but I went that route.
Did
I
you
went
go-
down 285 and then turned.
Did you go on Highway 13?
Yeah, whatever that road is that
Yeah.
takes you.
Well, there's a cutoff behind the airport, Highway 13.
Okay.
Instead of going down 285.
Okay.
Takes
Yeah,
off.
okay. I didn't
saves
think
a lot,
of that one.
Saves a lot of time.
I just went the way I knew and just went and.
Yeah, I like that drive. That's a pretty drive.
It is pretty. It's a very pretty drive, and it's just nice. And then that one, I feel like you see the most change of as it's like dirt. All right, starting to get a little green. Oh, Green Valley.
Yeah.
That's what you get reminded. There's parts of Chavez County that are mountainous and green, and you forget that.
Yeah.
Take the trip to Cloudcroft. You get reminded. There's parts of Chavez County that aren't brown and dirt.
Yeah, Penasco Valley is a pretty valley.
Absolutely, yeah. You go up there by Mayhill and all that beautiful area.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. For folks not familiar, Matt joins us each month, and he is an attorney, hence Bristol office. That's why his name's on the thing, and he's a lawyer, and that's that part there. But Matt gives us, really sage legal advice when it comes to family law, when it comes to financial planning, even business law. If you're wanting to set up a small business, we'll devote times on legally. You may know how to sell your widget, but do you know how to run the business and how to protect it legally and from financial suits, lawsuits to just make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's to keep you from getting sued and everything else. So.
Yeah, we try to do, we provide a little bit of everything, and so, which is helpful because then we learn a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. And you don't want to learn the hard way, which is usually you make the mistake and then have to reap the repercussions of said mistake.
Oh yeah.
That's how a lot of us learn. We're trying to, avoid that step.
Yeah. So a lot cheaper to ask me ahead of time than try to get fixed things after they've gone sideways.
That is very true. That's just everything in life, not just in the legal world.
Oh, well, it's especially true with like second marriages because I see a lot of times where people, they don't want to make a will because, if you talk about dying, then you die. So they never get around to estate planning or doing anything to prepare for when they're not here anymore.
Sure. It's the ostrich syndrome.
It is.
Yeah.
And then it's especially tough when there's a second marriage.
Yeah, and especially if there's kids from the first marriage, and that's when things get that web gets pretty tangled if you don't stay on top of it here.
Well, yeah, and then even if a spouse is fine with the stepchildren, do the other stepchildren get along with the other stepchildren? Sure. So the next generation can get pretty messy sometimes.
Well, and I just like for instance, and I'm not saying how the relations or anything to this, but I'm aware of a story where a woman, her husband died, met another man, remarried. This man was second marriage as well, widow, divorcee, and kids and things. He's, he was pretty well established, has his own property, had, retired from his job, and had a nice little patch of land on a lake, and that kind of thing, living well. Well, he died, and basically the wife had to leave because the property was left to the kids, and so there was no caveat about she can live there as long as she's alive or none of that. And kids came in, are like, nope, you got to get out. Go, this is ours. We want it. And she was left high and dry pretty much.
Yeah. That is not uncommon. The wife, if she had a home, she sells it and moves in with second husband. They live happily for 15, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But he probably often doesn't tell the wife, oh, by the way, I'm leaving the house to the kids.
Yeah.
And that's
which is not a bad thing, but if you like love your first wife, maybe you set some up. It's like, oh, they can't have it till you're done living in it or something like that, or whatever arrangement. But you need to make those arrangements, otherwise you might end up out in the cold because no planning was done or no conversation, at least with your people about it. So.
Yeah, there's no conversation. A lot of times the spouse is surviving spouse is kind of blindsided. And believes, maybe the husband should have made some kind of monetary compensation for her to get a new house.
And I get it. It's a difficult conversation to have, especially if you come from the perspective of the spouse, because you don't want to look like you're gold digging or whatever. I mean, it's a slippery slope. You want to bring, because no one wants to talk about death, but then it's like, hey, when you die, what do I get? What do your kids get? I know that's a very, I don't have the cojones to walk in a room and do that. I don't have, some people may, but that's a slippery slope you got to broach there.
It is. It's a difficult conversation. 'Cause I had a lady come in one time, and the second marriage and 25 years, and husband was getting ill. He's becoming ill, and she's taking a lot of time taking care of him. And so she was having the conversation of, what is your estate plan and what's going on here? And naturally he says, well, I want to take care of my children and blah, blah, blah. And well, okay, to what extent are you taking care of your children? And husband says, well, they get everything. And the wife is like, okay, so I'm changing your diapers and you're leaving me zip?
Right? It's like, what, why?
I chopped liver or, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
And so she was real tempted just to bug out.
Sure.
And I couldn't blame her. I didn't give her that advice.
Right.
It's just up to her. But
well, that's where, love's a powerful thing, because I think if the love's not there, you're out. At that point, it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Going this emotional roller coaster? At the end of the day, I'm going to be bags packing high and dry.
Yes. Yeah. So, so many times, a husband comes in and says, well, my wife passed. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. And, well, we lived in her house that she had pre-marriage. I said, okay. And was it paid off before you got married? Because that's a big question right there. And it was paid off before you got married. It's okay.
Yeah, because in theory, if y'all paid it off while you were married, then you have a stake in that house.
That's right.
Because you paid into it.
The community money paid it off. The community has an interest in that house.
Then it's another ball game here.
Yeah. So he says, well, it was paid off pre-marriage, and she never put me on the deed. And now the kids are trying to kick me out.
Well, guess what?
Well, yeah. So
your kids are going to win.
Essentially, so if my wife passes without a will, 3/4 of her sole and separate property go to her children, 1/4 to the surviving spouse. So now the kids have a 3/4 interest in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're either going to force a sale or a buyout. But now
and that probably varies from state to state. Like that may work here in New Mexico, but you go, say, to Texas, they may not apply that way.
Don't know how they do it over there.
And so that's where you got to pay attention on some of that, because each state, the rules are different on that. Community property states versus non, and the rules that do apply with and none of that. And New Mexico is kind of a more unique state in some of those legal proceedings than other states.
There are only 8 community property states in the country. So if you move to a different state, and even those community property laws vary a little bit, so some subtleties. So you always, if you're going to move somewhere, contact a legal professional, see what the laws are.
Sure.
But that surviving spouse now is in the home for the last 20 years. And the kids from the previous marriage are saying, well, we're 3/4 owners. And, since we're owners, we get to live there too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. So now the surviving husband's living on Social Security, and his wife passed, so her Social Security check just went away. And now he's got to buy out 3/4 of the house.
Yeah. And the sad part is, all these situations, like you said, could be easily avoided. But 9 times out of 10, people just thought, oh, it's my son, it's my daughter, it's this.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And we all think that until you actually get there. And when the people die and then the money actually starts being talked about here, people change. People get weird. People get different.
Big time.
And I wish all of us were evolved or enlightened enough to be on the high road, but temptation tempts. And then there's a lot of temptation there.
So interesting thing was husband and wife divorced, and wife had a 401k. And, of course, during the marriage, she named husband as beneficiary. Mm-hmm. And post-divorce just never gets around to changing it. So that was a problem, especially if she remarried, had a second spouse. And so the legislature came up with this. Well, if there's a divorce, then Nick's on the beneficiary status. If there's a divorce, all that stuff goes away. It's no longer valid because they got divorced. So it kind of makes a little sense. So present day, wife never changes the 401k. She gets remarries. Second husband, wife passes. So now second husband says, wait a minute. First husband's the beneficiary on the 401, except there's a state law that says that goes away upon divorce.
So
the problem is there's a federal act from 1972, I think.
Okay.
So when the
kind of getting into like cannabis laws, like, well, your state says one thing, but the Fed's got a different idea.
And then once the feds speak on a subject, you have what's called federal preemption.
Yeah.
And once the feds say we're going to take jurisdiction of the subject matter, they have exclusive jurisdiction.
Gotcha.
And that federal law says whatever the beneficiary is on the 401 stays.
So the moral of the story is
first time
update and change your stuff to the way you want it, because it may not end up that way. And it most certainly probably won't if you don't do it yourself.
Promptly upon divorce, change those beneficiaries, because in that case, husband one's getting it all.
And the longer you wait, the more unlikely you're going to not do it. And that's, you know what I mean? That's
inertia is a powerful force.
Yeah, while it's fresh, while you're thinking of those things, and while the fire's hot, so to speak, you get it done. And because once time cools off, you forget. And then, unfortunately, the unforeseen tragedy happens, and now you're left holding the bag on this one. So
so we need to update all that stuff. So it's a big talk to have about the husband and wife, second marriage, what's going to get left to the kids, what's going to get left to the surviving spouse, how much does the surviving spouse need? That's a huge talk. You need to have it. You need to put it in writing, because I promise stuff just doesn't
Absolutely,
work.
But have the conversation with the family members before. I mean, obviously, before you go in and start adjusting wills and everything. I mean, obviously, the healthy, mature, and most beneficial thing is, you talk with the spouse, talk about what you want to do, and then you talk with the kids and say, look, if I were to drop dead tomorrow, this is what I want to happen. And, you guys will get the house, but I want this. I want my wife to live there, and as long as she wants to, and she can stay there. And if she decides to leave tomorrow, then bequeath, boom, it's yours. If she's there for another 20 years, whatever, you got to have that conversation. That's and trust me, if you do that, have the arguments then, it'll save life so much better when after you pass, and just might keep your family being a family. Just saying, you might be doing the Lord's work in keeping your family together after you're gone.
And I advise my folks, even if it's their first marriage, they're still married, they have adult children. And so I always suggest is that you tell all the kids what's going on with your estate plan, and you tell them all at the same time, if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, but everybody's in the same room, so everybody hears the same thing all at once, and they avoids this, well, that's not what Dad told me, and well, Dad said I was going to have that, Chevy truck, and
and then for the love of God, don't play your kids like that either. You know what I mean? Like if you do that, like pull them aside. No, you can have the gun, and then later promise it to someone else. Then you're stirring that pot. You need to have a backbone and pick one and to quit wishy-washing on these people. But you're right. But because I believe sometimes that actually happens. I think there was promise to 3 people because the person who didn't make a will in the first place didn't have the backbone to tell anybody no.
Well, that's part. I've seen a lot of mommies do that with their children. They just can't say no, so that creates a problem. I often suggest that okay, well, while you're alive, why don't you give that Chevy truck to whoever you want to have it, or that firearm to whoever you want to have it, because now it's going to end up where you want it to end up.
And the way I look at it is, you look at it as like the passing of the baton, so to speak. It's like I leave you my pickup. You baby it like to change the oil every time on this here. This is how you change. You know what I mean? That's what you do. When I'm leaving you my gun. You clean it, everything here. It's this. I'm leaving you the house. I do that. That's you almost present it and change it to, and that's really, do it. That's not a bad idea. Do it while they're still alive if you can. I mean, if you still need it.
Yeah, make it a birthday present or a Christmas present, and you get to see the smile on their face. Sure. You get to see them enjoy it.
Sure. And hopefully don't wrap it around a tree before you die.
Yeah. Or give it to the grandkid who wraps it around the tree. Yeah.
Then you can get angry. You have a right to get angry if they do that. But yes, but it's a great idea. Leave it to them, the heirloom thing, whatever it is, to them while they're alive. That way, you know where it's going, and you don't create animosity, jealousy, or whatever,
especially
after you leave.
In a second marriage. If you want your kids to have certain family items, be sure and give it away while they're alive, because otherwise it gets messy.
Yeah.
Because I've had instances where, husband passes away, adult children from first marriage say, well, we want dad's firearms. And the wife says, well, we've been married 28 years.
Yeah.
He bought them all after we got married.
Well, I think a lot of people, I think this is where TV and movies have kind of messed us up a little bit. Whereas, it's not as bad in this day and age because you don't see it as often in TV and movies. But it seems to me, I remember growing up, anytime somebody died, there was a reading of the will, you know what I mean? And I bequeath this to you, and I bequeath that to you. And I think it got many people thinking, like, that's how they need to create wills. Like, every earthly possession I own, I need to find out who to give it to. And it doesn't work that way. To be honest, it should be kind of generic in terms of, the property, the big things, the house, the car, the finances, the liabilities, who goes what to where on that. When in terms of getting the pearl necklace that Grandma Jones had, to this, to that, to there, and all, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Don't put that in a will. Give it to whoever you intend to
while you're alive.
While you're alive.
Yeah.
That don't. I know it's fun for a TV show to put everyone in a room and I leave my stamp collection to little Louie. But that's not how life is. It really isn't like that.
Well, the problem we run into is, so in the will, you can designate personal property goes to whoever.
Sure.
And so if the pearl necklace goes to the granddaughter, and so the next question is, well, where's the pearl necklace?
Right.
And then the surviving spouse says, I don't know what he's talking about. And
then the wife or someone else said, I don't know, he lost it years ago.
Yeah. Where is it?
Yeah. And now it's sitting in someone's jewelry closet somewhere, hiding it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah.
If you give it away while you're alive,
it just turns up all of a sudden. Yeah. Yeah. So avoid all that nonsense.
Oh yes. Yeah. So we had I had a case where a gentleman passes away, and so his ex-wife says, well, where's all his jewelry? He had these gold Rolex watches, and they disappeared, and it's all this lady's fault. It's the personal representative's fault because she must have stolen it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, so lady, ex-wife, this gentleman was, ill. Everybody knew he was passing away, and it took some time. And did you ever have like a family gathering to say, gee, we're all going to miss you? And did you take pictures?
Mm-hmm.
And are there watches in the pictures? You mean you didn't have a goodbye party? There was no gathering. There's no pictures of, we're going to miss you. No pictures. But that personal representative lady, she must have stolen the watches. So, okay, ex-wife. So didn't you also help him on a regular basis? Oh, yeah. You help clean the house? Oh, yeah. How often? Oh, 3-4 times a week. Oh, you had your own key? Yep. Oh, you had access to the house.
Columbo solves the case.
Hello. So you never know who's going to be taking things from the house.
You never know. Absolutely. Yeah.
Give it away while you're alive.
Absolutely. You're right. And I hear stories in the past, into times where like people living in living assisted facilities, and they've had some of their jewelry and stuff in there, and they want to go saving it for their granddaughter, great granddaughter, or whatever. And yeah, that kind of stuff, staff things. It's a common world. It did spawn a question that this is one of those weird what if ones that I just gee whiz. What do you do in this situation? Say for instance, you do that situation where you leave, your prized watch or piece of jewelry to whatever relative. Say you put that in the will and you tell them, in your will, when I die, this watch is going to you. And say, for whatever reason, the watch breaks before you die. and the watch is no longer good, but you never pull it out the will, and then you drop dead. And then the person comes looking for their watch, and they said it's broke, but they were promised it. Is there a lawsuit there? Could that person in theory, because say they broke the watch and it's no good no more, so nothing to bequeath, but they died before they could pull it out of the will saying that you get the watch. So now that now this person's died, it's a raw and rude thing to do, but in theory, could the person that was supposed to get the watch have a case against the estate saying, well, you promised me a watch, the watch is broke, I should get some monetary value for that? Is that a case?
In a larger sense, yeah. So, for example, if it's a broken watch, you go, here's your broken watch,
sure.
Mike, good luck. But let's say what often instead happens is I give Mike my Chevy Malibu 67 mint condition worth $60,000. And then, so that's in the will.
Mm-hmm.
And then while I'm alive, I sell it or I give it to somebody else. And 10 years later, I pass away and my will says Mike gets the Chevy Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
And where is it? And so at that point, Mike could come in and say, well, if the will says I get, and if it's not there, I want the monetary equivalent. So you could push the issue, yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know if that was, could you actually win that case in court if you tried to pursue that?
Yeah, most likely. So when I make a will, if the vehicles are mentioned,
sure,
then I always put, and the Chevy Malibu to Mike if I own it at the time of my death.
I just didn't know if it was, maybe you could make an argument that it's considered a gift and there's no law saying you have to give a gift to anybody. You can give it or not give it. It's your prerogative. So I didn't know if maybe you could fight it that way or something.
Well, once you die, then the will kicks in, and it says Mike gets the Malibu.
Gotcha.
So if there's no Malibu, Mike's going to want the monetary equivalent.
Gotcha.
So I always put, if I own it at the time I die.
Now, I would imagine if you're a close family and everything, you're like, no, that thing went over a cliff years ago. I know I'm not going to get the thing for it, and I'm not going to fight or pursue it.
Well, if people are, cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, and that's really, if your family's in good communication, then that's what's going to happen. But imagine there's instances where I haven't talked to Grandpa in years, but he promised me that watch, or whatever it was. And something like that goes on.
Oh, yeah, we get that all the time is, they hadn't seen second marriage, except the adult children don't like the second wife.
Mm-hmm.
So they hadn't seen Dad actually in 15 years. No Thanksgiving, no Christmas, no birthday, 15 years.
Drops dead, and they
Dad
turn
dies,
up all of a sudden.
and they turn up, and they go, well, I want Dad's this, and I want Dad's that, and, I was Dad's favorite, and it's like, well.
It may have been 30 years ago, but where have you been lately?
Yeah.
And
it happens, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's something we forget about. And this is me, my own personal life, as I'm, kind of, going through different phases of life, going from young days to now starting to settle into older days and things like that. But it starts to make me realize that, your life is a series of little lives. What you did in your 20s versus what you do in your 40s are completely different lives. And the people you surround yourself with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a different world you live in. And it's hard to quantify that sometimes when you have to put it pen to paper and say, what is the value of that?
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. So this is why these wills have to, that's why advice, what should go in a will, what shouldn't. This is why you need to talk to someone like Matt. And, sure, you can go online and fill in the blank wills and all that, but that doesn't tell you it won't help you to try to explain what the intent of what you're trying to do with your possession.
Right.
Whereas the fill in the blank thing, it's, plug and paste. And then it goes, there's no flexible leeway. It's all cookie cutter. It's all, I guess if your life is that way, then it works pretty well. But most of us aren't like that. And so, but if you're wanting to know, like, hey, if I want to leave this to my son, what's the best way to do that? And that's when you talk to Matt. Matt will tell you, well, give it to him before you die. Or, well, they're only 6. Okay, hold on to it into an age that they're responsible enough. You think they'll give it to it, then give it to them. But that's the kind of stuff you talk to an attorney about. Is like, here's the actual life advice that goes with the legal advice.
Oh, yeah, and you were asking the Malibu thing.
Yeah.
So my grandfather's will, he left certain cash bequests to certain people, and then me and my siblings got the real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that was the order in which the will was written. Cash distributions to 5 people, and then we get real estate. Well, fortunately, there was enough cash in the bank to pay those people.
Okay.
But if there had not been enough cash, well, in the distribution order, they came before the real estate. So if there was no cash, they would say, sell the real estate and give us our cash.
Sure. So you got it pending the bills got paid, basically.
Yeah, so it should have been written in reverse.
Yeah.
You know, these kids get the real estate, and then if there's money left over, the
Pay
following
your
cash,
creditors and all that.
following cash bequests.
Sure. And again, something to talk to the attorney about. It's
Hello.
Like whose future do you want to protect, your creditors or your families?
Yeah. So words are important, and how you use them are important.
And I will tell you this: if you leave it to other people's choices, they're going to ensure your creditor's future, not your family's. So that's why you need to have a will. You need to actually talk to an attorney, sit down and do it, and you need to constantly update it and change it and modify it as moments in life change and happen in life. You have a child, you need to change the will. You get divorced, you need to change the will.
Oh,
you get married, you need to change the will.
Yep.
If you know what? If you have a windfall in your life, you hit the lottery, someone dies and bequeaths you money, you need to change your will.
need to look that stuff up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fix it before it goes wrong.
Yes, this is the stuff you need to talk about.
Yeah.
And this is, and the time to do it is when it's fresh in your mind and thinking about it, and you know, like in past conversations, Matt and I have talked about, like, right around the holidays when family gets together, it's always that's a good time of year to maybe have the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
If I die, go to this cabinet and everything's here. Or if I die, call this person and talk to them. They've got all my, whatever that plan is, it's time. But this is kind of the same way when it comes to will planning. As those moments in life happen, maybe it's to plan that thing, at least with your spouse or who your real immediate circle there.
Yeah.
To have that planned that way.
Especially if your inheritance is, or your giving is not being equally divided among the children.
Sure, absolutely.
So maybe you've helped one child out their whole life, so you don't leave them as much. Or maybe one child's exceptionally wealthy, and so you're going to give the money to the other children because you think they need it. So if it's not going to be divided evenly, that conversation needs to be made ahead of time.
Sure. And generally when those reasons is because of family reasons. Like, well, Sue's good at this, but Johnny's not so good. So we're going to help Johnny this way and help Sue this way.
Yeah.
And so that's why those conversations are important, because I'm sure your parents love you all equally. They just want to give you the best, advantage to what they think you need at that time. And so that's what those conversations are about. And granted, it's hard after the will when your parents thought you needed something different than what you thought you needed.
Yeah. I needed a lot more money than that.
And then it creates that animosity with the next day you're ticked off at your sibling for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've created that. So please, yes, put everybody in loop, put everybody on the table, have those conversations, avoid the fight for after when you're gone, and trust me.
Mm-hmm.
This is no different than when when your kids are in school. It's like, oh, my kid's the angel. No, your kid's not the angel. Your kid's just like the rest.
Yeah.
Same thing here. My family would never do that until they do.
Until they do. That's right.
You got to protect yourself and your family. And your family from this. You're protecting your family as much as you're protecting yourself from these headaches.
Yeah, even if the first generation gets along, usually the second generation won't. So
yes, and let's face it. I would imagine when you deal with generational wealth, your Trumpses and your Vanderbiltses and all these folks, as the generations change and the people that maybe necessarily blood, sweat, and tears weren't making that money, there's a lesser appreciation for the value of it, and so you tend to have to.
Even a second marriage situation, even if the wife is getting along with the stepchildren, the husband and wife both pass away, the stepchildren aren't going to get along with each other.
Sure.
And so that's why stuff needs to be either given away while you're alive or clearly written instructions. Handle it in writing. Don't just roll the dice and let if you don't have an estate plan, the state has one for you. And let's not go there because no one's going to be happy about that.
Sure. And then please don't forget too, anytime you're making changes or additions or subtractions to your will and stuff, go talk to the attorney. You can't just whip up your phone and do videos and do things, little caveat things and say, I bequeath this, because none of that will hold up in court. None of that will is considered legal documentation of your wishes.
Handwritten changes don't count, folks.
Yeah, you got to, if you have the will and you need to change it, you need to go back to the lawyer and
get a new one.
Get it redone and re-notarized and re-bequeathed and all that good stuff. So, anytime, and then probably burn that old one when the new one's done.
Yeah, the old one should always be destroyed. Now your list of who gets what personal property, that you can change as long as you sign it and date it. That doesn't have to be notarized. That is something you can change at home.
Something a little simpler like that, where you don't have to throw the baby without the bathwater, so to speak. You just make a simple change.
Yeah, you just make simple changes anytime you want, and just sign it and date it. But as far as the will itself, handwritten notations, changes, that just doesn't cut it. Won't work. Nope. As far as we know, somebody else may have done that.
At home matlocking don't count a lot of times on that.
Yeah.
You may be able to pull that off in the DIY. You may be able to fix your own kitchen cabinets, but when it comes to the legal stuff, DIY legal is not the best.
Yeah, get some competent legal advice, and just so you know, it's peace of mind that you did it right.
Absolutely. And I know a guy you might want to call here. Matt Bristol could definitely take care of it here. Of course, if you go to his website, bristollawoffice.com, you can .net. I'm sorry, he changed it. I keep forgetting. You can go there, set up for a free consultation. We'll sit down and chit-chat with you and say, you know what? This is a case. We need something. Or you know what? Go to the DMV and go fill out this form and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we could set that conversation up and then and go from there. Matt, when it comes to family law, business law, you don't really do criminal law so much, but the
no criminal
financial side of law, pretty much all those worlds, Matt's got a foot in it.
Yes, call us at 625-5284.
Yeah.
And we can set up an appointment. And if it's something we don't handle, I will tell you we don't do that because, I don't want to screw stuff up.
Sure. Well, and it's, law's a big thing. In case you haven't know, that's why people spend a lot of time going to school and a lot of money to learn it. But there's so many different caveats of law, and you could really spend your whole world in one area of law and be completely oblivious to the other area of law, because it just doesn't work the same. You know?
Yeah, I was talking to one of the judges the other day, and he said he was getting to have a lot of respect for family law attorneys. And I'm like, okay, well, why is that? And he says, because you have to know so many other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to kind of foot in everybody's world because it's family, and where there's family, it's messy. It's just
you got to split up assets. Mm-hmm. You have to know how the 401k trick thing works and pensions.
Oh, by the way, if there's restraining orders and those things, you got to be. So there's a little criminal. There's a little bit of everything.
So separate property, community property, and die intestate. There's just so many more things you have to know. I had a case where there was a business.
Mm-hmm.
Husband had a business and pre-marriage, but he spent 40 years of the marriage in the business. So divorce, and wife wants half the business. It's like, it's community property. So we had the accountant run out the balance sheet.
Okay.
And so here's the balance sheet of the assets. And so this is it. And we'll give her half. How do you want to can we pay it out over time kind of thing? So the wife's attorney says, we'll take a payout over time. Well, the thing is on the balance sheet, what the other attorney didn't realize is that those are depreciated values. So, but I knew it because of my experience.
Sure.
So we kind of got away with a little bit there, but that's what the judge meant is you got to know a little bit of a whole lot.
Sure, you're right. And again, it's we're experience, and and that's not toot Matt's horn here. This is where sometimes when you have a lawyer that's been in the room, and knows these things, will help you out when those types of, because it always happens. It's just every time there's a court case and there's a little thing, there's always one caveat or one something here or there. And when you have a lawyer that's very well versed in that stuff, it sure makes it a lot easier.
We do our
when
best.
Those surprises do pop up from time to time.
We do our best.
But bristoloffice.net, definitely check it out or give them a call.
Please
come by here. We have about a minute or two if you got time for a little fact or fiction here.
Oh yeah, so this. Root words. I like, root words. Where do words come from? So Mike gets up in the morning and Sunday, so he's going to go out and get the paper. And there's this thing in the front yard.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, what is this thing? It just suddenly appeared. And so you're wondering, what is this thing? So what we all do is we kind of walk around it trying to figure out what's this thing, Walk over here, look at it, and walk over here and look at it. So when a person who walks is a pedestrian.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you walk around it, you encircle it.
Okay.
Or another word for circle is cycle, the cycle of life.
Okay.
So you encircle this thing as a pedestrian. You are an encyclopedia.
Oh, looking for knowledge here. So that's where the brute words of encyclopedia come
That's
from.
where the word encyclopedia means, is walking around on your feet trying to figure out what the heck this thing is in my front yard. You used to walk around on your feet. And that
is neat.
That's just wild to me.
That is neat.
Where do they come up with that stuff? Yeah.
It's almost like, to me, that's one of those moments where people look at a globe for the first time and finally realize, wait a minute. If you look at the Atlantic Ocean and Africa and in North America and Europe, but they kind of, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a puzzle. They fit together. Yeah. That's almost like one of those moments when people are putting it together, like, oh, okay, there's a reason why things are this and why it's put here in this place. And so yes, definitely.
I just think that's an interesting how they came up with that stuff.
Yeah,
anyway.
I do too. It's evolution, you know.
Yeah.
It always makes me think. I was thinking about that the other day, and I really don't have time to go into this, but it was just like, I wonder, like, words that we look as slang and seem like, I wonder if there's words that we take now as like the official word for it, but its root words were some slangy word that, like, if you talked to people of the origin of which this word came from, they would not think of it the same way we talk about it today.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
When you look at,
like, we think we're talking very, like, educated, and if you would have been, they'd be like, what a gutter mouth on that guy. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that's the case. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we write and we abbreviate pound, it's LB.
Yes.
Where'd that come from?
You know, I never thought about it. I feel it's an English thing, but I don't know.
It's a little Latin for book is libro, and so they were heavy.
Oh, there you go.
And so LB.
So it was a good measuring source.
Yeah.
How many books you weigh?
Yeah.
How many libras you weigh?
Who decided that?
Which kind of makes sense when they do, in weight and stone in
English,
Europe, it's stone.
Turned out in plans for a Trump-Harris debate.
In a social media post Tuesday afternoon, Donald Trump claimed an agreement had been reached and that debate microphones would be muted when it's not a candidate's turn to speak. But the Harris campaign rejected that claim a few hours later, saying the issue remains a matter of ongoing conversation with host network ABC. Trump's campaign wants mics to be muted, while the vice president's team prefers unmuted mics for the duration of the debate, which is scheduled for September 10th. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Special counsel Jack Smith has brought a superseding indictment against former President Trump. This has to do with the 2020 election interference case, and the BBC's Carl Nassman in Washington.
In terms of the case itself, it's very unlikely that this will even begin before voters go to the polls on November 5th. And if Donald Trump does win that election, if he becomes president again, he'll have the power to tell the government to drop the case altogether. So we'll have to see what happens there. Interestingly, in terms of spectacle and media, Jack Smith has said that he won't require Donald Trump to have another arraignment. So we won't likely see that big media scrum again. We won't see Donald Trump come back into a courtroom to face these new charges.
Mr. Trump calls the new indictment a sign of desperation. Israel says the 10 Palestinians killed in raids in the West Bank were terrorists and says its military operation is aimed at protecting Israeli civilians from attack. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up now 17 points, while the Nasdaq 179 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Me too. It would appear the U.S. is playing armchair quarterback in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and some Ukrainian officials don't like it.
Ukraine's daring ground offensive has taken the fight to Russia, but not nearly as much as its leaders would like, because, they say, the U.S. won't let them. Philip Breedlove, a retired U.S. general who led NATO in Europe from 2013 to 2016, tells the AP the war's going to end exactly how Western policymakers decide it will end. He continues, if we keep doing what we're doing, Ukraine will eventually lose, because right now we're purposely not giving Ukraine what they need to win, while EU Foreign Affairs Chief Joseph Borrell says lifting restrictions on long-range ballistic missiles would strengthen Ukrainian self-defense, save lives and reduce destruction there. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The captain of that super yacht that sank during a storm off Sicily last week, killing 7 people, has decided not to respond to questions from prosecutors. News and analysis at townhall.com. Companies being flooded with job applicants from North Korea.
Tech startup Cinder says it suspects as many as 4 in 5 applicants from some job websites are part of a remote work scheme aimed to help fund the North Korean state. A cybersecurity expert told Forbes it saw one email account automated to apply to 300 different jobs, usually in IT. Once hired, they use IT to complete tasks and can make as much as $300,000 a year. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A federal report concludes that freight railroad BNSF generally strives to improve safety consistently, but that message doesn't always reach frontline workers, and those workers often don't feel comfortable reporting their safety concerns out of fear of being disciplined. That is the bottom line of a newly released assessment by the Federal Railroad Administration. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number
Crazy Miramos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hope your Wednesday's going just well.
Oh, yeah. Swimmingly.
Yeah.
I heard an interesting story yesterday, a couple of days ago, actually.
All right.
So, the way I got to it is also kind of interesting. You know how Bennifer was a thing again for
Yes.
like
Well, they just
6
broke up,
months,
right?
and they just broke up.
Yeah.
So
Talking about J-Lo
apparently,
and Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck has been dating the daughter of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Her name is Kik. And
Okay.
apparently they've been seeing each other.
All right.
So
Now, this daughter of RFK is not also daughter of Cheryl Hines, right?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, because that's who RFK
is married to now.
Yeah.
I don't believe so, although don't quote me on that.
Okay. That I would think no, because, well, then it's Hollywood, but I'm thinking Ben Affleck is either quite a bit older than this woman.
Yeah, he is. He's significantly older. She's,
Ben
I believe
Affleck's
she's in her
around my age.
20s, 20-something.
Okay, he's around my age.
Yeah. He's up there. But So basically, once it was found out that Ben Affleck was dating the daughter of Robert F. Kennedy, people don't really know much about this girl, Kik, so they started kind of looking into her, trying to find out what.
Was her last name Kennedy?
I believe it is Kik Kennedy, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, right? So somebody came upon I believe it was like a town and garden article from like 2013, where she talks about there was a story where she and her family went to the beach. While they were on the beach, apparently they came upon or a whale washed up onto shore. There was a dead whale.
Okay.
The story goes, RFK Jr. cut the head off the whale. And this is according to his daughter.
Okay.
Took out like a saw and cut the head off the whale. I guess because he wanted to take it home. I'm not sure if he was a collector, if he was going for the rich hamburgers. I'm not sure. So the way it's explained is they then drove home, which was, I think, like 100 or more miles, with this whale head strapped to the front of their minivan. And everybody in the car, because every time they would hit a bump or something, it would slop up the whale guts. And they said it smelled terrible. And so everybody in the car was just wearing garbage bags over them to keep them like from getting whale junk all over them. This is according to the daughter of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as read in an article. I'm genuinely curious to see what happened. But there's no pictures of this. There's no like evidence of this. And she ends the article or the paragraph by saying, "That's just the way our family is. We just do weird stuff all the time."
I feel like there is some truth to that story, but all of that with I feel like at some point or another when you're driving with a whale head on your car and there's blood and guts, at some point a cop's going to pull you over.
One would think. one would imagine. But then again, this is how deep does your white privilege go? Now there's scrutiny over whether or not this actually happened. This could have just been a story that his daughter was telling.
I feel like there's some embellishment there.
But an environmental group has asked for him to be investigated because just for those keeping score, in the past 6 months, dead bear in Madison Square Garden, or no, I'm sorry, in Central Park, whale's head on the front of a van, brainworm. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. So the story goes, they think that he might have gotten the brainworm when he posed a photo after the bear was dead of him with his head inside the bear's mouth. They think that might have been where he contracted the brainworm. People are like making timelines online of how all this stuff lines up. Like when did the whale happen? Where did he pick up the bear? Was it the same trip?
Sounds like he's the Steve Irwin of the Kennedys.
Well, he is, but he's a little late. He waits till after they're dead to then. Right, today we're trading down the elusive dead whale.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! As soon as I saw this story, I'm like, I have to look into it. But yeah, his daughter is. It all stemmed from Ben Affleck and J-Lo broke up, huh? And then let's go down that rabbit hole and see where it goes.
All right. Well, yeah, there's weird. I don't know if it's that weird, but speaking of weird, I'm going to transition to more weird.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So, around the dawn of COVID there, one television program caught wildfire.
Okay.
Remember the Tiger King
series
and the phenom that was the Tiger King thing? Well, if you've been kind of hankering, like, man, I've been like itching for a Tiger King-esque thing again. Well, I just learned in the last week or two and just kind of watched the trailer for it now on Max, HBO Max, the Max platform.
Yeah.
From the makers of Tiger King.
Oh, is it from the makers of? Okay, I didn't realize that.
From the makers of Tiger King comes Chimp Crazy.
Yeah.
And it is a woman who has a Tammy Faye Baker look to her, kind of.
Right.
If Tammy Faye Baker and Morgana, the kissing bandit from the 80s fame, had a child, it'd be this woman.
Wow, a Morgana reference. That's a stretch.
That's the best thing I could put together.
I haven't seen the preview for it. I saw just a couple stills from it. And people are saying, yeah, it's like Tiger King, but like turned up a notch.
Yeah, she's like obsessed with chimps and treats them like kids and humans, and then like they come in to tease the chimps, and And I don't know if the chimps go crazy or there's like a murder plot. It gets, again, it's Tiger King-esque.
Okay.
But with chimps. And some crazy lady instead of a crazy dude.
Ever since I was a little kid, people are like, oh, everybody loves monkeys. Monkeys are so cute. Aren't they so... I hate monkeys. Monkeys are like the scourge of the earth. If they were all wiped out from civilization, I would be a much happier man.
What did a monkey
Monkeys
do to you?
are just straight up evil. Even the smallest of them can just like rip your face off just because they want to.
That's a lot of vitriol for not having a personal experience with a monkey.
Do you know that a gorilla's strength is literally
but now
infinite?
you're talking about two different animals.
No, okay, yeah, fair enough. But a gorilla's strength is literally infinite because there is not testing. There's not a piece of equipment that has been created that can test the relative strength of a gorilla. So as of right now, it is infinite. That's how it's listed.
Yeah, but that's not a monkey.
No, it's the same thing.
Well, not really.
All of them. Monkeys, apes, get rid of them. All of them. Hate them. Hate them all. Hate them all. I watched the movie Dunstan Checks In, but I watched it with a lot of complaints about it.
Did like a monkey beat you at the zoo or something?
No, I've never liked monkeys. I think they're gross. I think they're ugly.
I mean, that's a lot of vitriol for something you've never had a personal experience.
You know what it is? It's because for some reason people always like make this this general assumption. Oh, that my generation, they love monkeys. Look at all the movies they made with monkeys in them. Oh, clearly they love monkeys. One of my favorite bands, Bare Naked Ladies, has a song where they say, "Haven't you always wanted a monkey?" No, Bare Naked Ladies. No, I have not.
I'm just really indifferent to monkeys. But at the end of the day,
that's why I choose to live in this part of the world, relatively monkey free, unless I go to a zoo.
I guess you didn't like that video of me when I was in Costa Rica. The monkeys running around on our head and eating Skittles. And all that. It was
fine, but in I guess the wrong scenario. At no point would your face be safe. They would rip that bad boy off and just start eating it.
Oh, their hands are like the size of the pen. They're not ripping my face off.
No, they can do it. They can do it. They got relative...
the time it would take to do it, I'm grabbing a huck of that thing and chucking it about 50 feet. That's what's going to happen.
You've heard the story of that woman who she owned. It was her chimpanzee.
Yeah.
It was like her pet, her baby. They like lived together for years.
If you're going to own one,
it's on
you.
It just had a bad day and tore her face off.
It's a wild animal.
Like in Face Off.
Right. But here's the thing. If you had a pet lion, it'd do the same thing.
Which is why
do you have
I
the hate
have
for the lions?
That's just why I never have a pet lion.
But
I'm not saying...
Do you hate them like you hate a monkey?
Sure. If they decide to invade our culture the way monkeys have, I haven't seen Simba Checks In.
I just learned today that if this whole radio gig doesn't work out for you, you do not have a job at the zoo.
You know what? I'm not. I will say this. I did work for a few days at the zoo scooping poop, and maybe it had something to do with the fact that I had to clean the monkey
Now
cage.
we're starting. Get on the couch, Sean.
But
there we go. Did monkeys throw things at you?
They didn't throw things at me. They're just really gross, and I don't like the way they look. They
were peeling back the layers. The onions coming loose here.
When Ross got his pet monkey on Friends, I even tuned out for a couple episodes. I'm like, I don't want this. This isn't. I can't do this.
We're gonna peel these layers. At the end of the day, I think Sean was molested by a monkey.
You're gonna find out that I was actually raised by chimpanzees, and I'm bitter because they left me on my parents' doorstep.
He's actually Greystoke, the Legend of Tarzan. He's the guy that was raised in the jungle. By the way, that's a good movie if you ever want to see a movie that's old.
Maybe I came off a little aggressive.
It was very angry.
He was gritting his teeth, and he made this look like I've never seen before.
He was angry at the monkeys.
It's not what you say so much as how you say it, Sean. But yeah, I just don't like monkeys in general. I don't like, what do you call it, primates.
I guess you never bought your kids Curious George book series. Huh?
I mean, I've leafed through them a time or two, but I don't let that filth in my home. Trust that nonsense.
These kids never even get to eat bananas. It's crazy. They never seen one.
Mighty Joe Young. No, nowhere on my shelf. Never happened.
He's out there rooting for Godzilla the whole time.
I'll tell you, Operation Dumbo Drop, still to this day one of my favorite movies of all time. Great movie. Beautiful. Love the elephants. They're great.
You're good with elephants.
Elephants are fantastic. I've never seen an elephant rip somebody's face off.
I did.
I have seen one
I saw the clip
step
of the
on a
elephants.
head. Yeah.
No. This
the
wasn't a
sit.
sit. It was a sit. And the guy was standing behind the elephant, and the elephant sat.
Did he go in?
Like a suppository.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I bet that's something you didn't expect to be happening to you to that day.
You know, there's a lot of experiences that one can plan for. That is
You
not
ever seen
one
the
of
movie
them.
Inner Space? All right.
Anyway.
So, unfortunately, my guest can't make it today, American Legion Post folks, because they're actually out of town for another Legion event. However, Andrew said, so no monkeys for Sean's birthday, huh? Nope.
I honestly
not a
in
fan.
the chat said, just a wee bit aggressive.
He had a lot of vitriol for the monkeys.
I'm sitting here like, did I curse?
No.
I didn't curse.
You could tell he was salty about
Everything
monkeys.
short of.
I was like, man, what did a monkey do to this guy? All right, but I gotta shift this serious after that. This because what I'm about to say is serious, but I'm like, still got monkey on the brain. So unfortunately, the folks from American Legion can't join us today, but they wanted me to share something with you guys, and I shared it on our Facebook page as well, a link for it. But the American Legion is putting a call out to write to your legislators. Congress is still in recess, spending time in the districts meeting with constituents. But as August wears on, the clock is ticking on a $3 billion shortfall at the Department of Veteran Affairs, threatening to delay veterans' compensation in the month of October. American Legion calls for Congress to act before October's recess and to fund this shortfall. VA reported this shortfall is due to an unexpected number of veterans filing claims under the PACT Act and higher than anticipated demand for the GI Bill, eating into the budget and possibly leaving no funding for compensation pay on October 1. However, veterans have earned this compensation through their service, and veterans are counting on that for their income. It is the responsibility of the VA to make sure those commitments are met. Congress must provide the oversight and funding necessary to address this shortfall. They're asking folks to please write your representatives in Congress today and demand that they be addressed in this timely manner. And you, on the link I shared on our Facebook, it's got a deal where you can compose your message and sends it to the people and all that if you'd like to participate in that. But that's on our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page. So it's a big deal, you know, with the veterans and this stuff. I'm blessed. I don't need to rely on veteran benefits, but my life here, sure. I mean, I got my home loan and things like that, but I'm not getting a check where I have to live my income or anything like that, and I'm pretty blessed there. But there's so many veterans that they don't get this check in October. They don't, they're not going to be able to make ends meet, and I'm sorry. I am a veteran, but I would felt this way long before I became a veteran. A person that has decided to sacrifice their lives for this country, whether they actually, they gave up their life, willing to give up their time and stuff for the greater good of this country. We need to take care of those people. So please fill that out. I ask you do that. So since our American Legion folks aren't going to be able to come in today, I'm going to replay our interview we had with the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office. They joined us about a week ago, just give us update on 4-H, fair, also with the Master Gardeners and all that good stuff. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a bit. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of tropical air getting into our area today. We will have some sunshine with a few clouds, low to mid-90s on the afternoon high, but a few showers and thunderstorms could pop up later on today. Maybe a shower till about midnight, then a few clouds. We're in the upper 60s on the low. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, mix of sun and clouds in mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 58%. Winds calm at the moment. We are looking at 20% chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny and a high of 94 today. Winds will be out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain continues into the evening hours. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 70. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms for Thursday afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 94. South winds around 5 miles per hour. That 30% chance of rain continues into Thursday night, mainly before midnight. Partly cloudy otherwise. Overnight low of 69 degrees. And then good rain chances for Friday, like a 60%. Hopefully it doesn't mess up football here, but 60% chance at showers for the afternoon on Friday. Partly cloudy, 86 for a high, so a lot cooler. And then winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, we are looking at a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy overnight low of 67. And then for the weekend, 30% chance of showers on Saturday, partly cloudy, and 86 for a high. 40% chance on Sunday, partly cloudy, 86 also for a high. Loving these 86s. More of that, please. All right, it is 9:23. We're going to take about a 2.5, 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This lot is hot. The pre-Labor Day sale is on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet with red-hot deals across the lot on an amazing selection of vehicles, like a 2020 Kia Optima priced under $19,000, now just $299 a month, or a 2018 Ford Escape just $239 a month. Or blaze ahead with the all-new 2025 Chevy Trax Active, just $379 a month, or a 2024 Chevy Equinox LT marked down to just $289 a month. The pre-Labor Day Bash, on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Attention Roswell Coyote fans. When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Roswell High School sports.
When you're healthy, you can do amazing things. We're all about that. Because if you don't have access to health insurance through your work, or you just lost Medicaid, BeWell can connect you to the right health plan for you, your family, and your budget. We want to make your life a little easier, worry-free, and healthier. Because your health is everything. Be strong, be adventurous, and be amazing. Be well. New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Learn more at BeWellNM.com.
Attention Roswell Coyote fans. Do you love your car? Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. With special financing available, Hyundai can help regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 2 years of free oil changes. So upgrade your ride or refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, a proud supporter of Roswell Coyote Sports.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, we got almost the whole, we have people holding down the fort to answer phones and things, but we got pretty much the main staff here of the Chaves County Extension Office with us. Of course, Drew and Tamara and Katie back with us, our newest addition, our 4-H rep here. So now what do you got, about how many months on the job now?
6 weeks, so
almost
2 months.
Almost 2 months. I was thinking you had a few more months under your belt. So
No.
No, trial by fire.
Which, and ironically enough, you dropped right in fair season.
Yes.
So you hit arguably the busiest time of year for 4-H.
Oh, her first day was state conference with us. We hauled her out of town with kids.
I showed up, she handed me a list of kiddos, and we went.
I just smiled and waved.
Well, at least you got to do what you wanted to do right out the gate.
We had a great time.
No time for learning curves here. You're starting to the wolves. But of course, Andrew did a great job for many years, and now we're lucky enough to have Katie doing that. So don't worry, everything's covered with 4-H, and of course, you guys were filling the void till Katie come in to kind of bail you out a little bit.
I think our families are very excited to have
I was
her.
about to say, did you get lots of gifts from these people?
I should.
You should. That's what I'm saying.
Just lots of praise.
At least
lots
baked
of praise.
goods. I mean, like, hey, I thank you, Pie, for agreeing to take on here.
She did have to take care of the baking at County Fair, so just FYI.
I don't know if
She's
she
like, I can
wants
bake
me to
most
bake anything for her.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe Drew can get you a plant.
Yeah.
Let Tamara bake you something.
That's the way to do it. I like the way you think.
But yes, if you're not familiar, of course, the Extension Office, when we talk all the time, so we're talking 4-H, we're talking, all of the home ec side of things, and of course our gardening and planting and crops and that agricultural side of that's what the Extension Office does. And obviously, probably most people, when you think of 4-H, they think of Extension Office, they think of 4-H because that's kind of the most public portion of it.
Yes.
But when it comes to, if you need anything from pesticide certifications, trainings on various stuff, to even if you're wanting to get healthy, maybe you've just been diagnosed with diabetes, or maybe you haven't, you're just saying, I'm going to be there and I need to stop doing that. The Extension Office helps with all that. And by the way, we can do stuff with your kids. And 4-H, and we chat, and Tamara will talk about it. They got 4-H for kids. I mean, for adults. I'm sorry. They have 4-H is for kids, but they got basically Extension Office has 4-H for adults too, where it's, I don't think you wear uniforms and stuff, but you do get to do activities and things that are adult. I mean, they're not, unless you want to work leather work and stuff, but it's created and stuff. But that's all the Extension Office. It's all so much. It's really a community based. If you want anything agriculture related or health related or youth related, a call to the Extension Office. You'll probably, if you don't get your answer direct, you'll get in touch with people that can answer those questions. And that's really what you guys do at the end of the day. So, is that a good descriptor?
Absolutely.
That is a great descriptor.
So, before we talk other stuff, let's recap fair stuff. How was everything from the fair? And kind of, I guess we're in a little bit of a lull because State Fair's, when's State Fair? Like in a week or
Couple
two?
weeks.
Couple weeks away.
Yes.
And then, so maybe there's a breath in between there. But
a short one.
Yeah.
Short breath. Yeah.
How are things in the 4-H world right now?
Spectacular.
Good.
So we just finished up County Fair.
Okay.
We had a lot of great kiddos out sharing out their awesome projects.
You can go back and watch some of the livestock shows on our stuff there. We
Yes.
had, I'm telling you would, I'm telling folks right now, when it comes to our video viewership of things, number one is Artesia Bulldog football. Sorry, folks, there's nothing on this planet that beats the viewership. There's thousands and thousands of people that watch it every Friday night. You know what's second? And I lump it together. Livestock shows, whether it's Eddy County Fair, Chavez County Fair, Eastern New Mexico State Fair, whatever it is. Families love to watch their kids, especially, and it's great because, and we love it because it really gives the out-of-town grandma and grandpa that live in Texas or Wyoming or wherever, they get to, and they tune in. And even like I'm going to guess that, because the Chavez County Fair is a little smaller than Eastern New Mexico. I mean, you don't have the rides. It doesn't get the draw that the Eastern does. I'm guessing we probably have more people watching than probably in attendance, like for some of these shows. So that, I mean, we literally pick a random show, chickens or pet show, and there's usually 200-300 at any given time watching it live, and then another hundreds after the fact watching it. So those shows are very popular. So I invite you to come check them out in person. If you ever, when the Eastern Fair comes up here, or if you're going to be up in Albuquerque for State Fair, go sit down and watch these shows. See them live. See these kids in action. See, I grew up in city boy. I grew up in D.C., Maryland. Cow, I'm like, they get milk, right? That's kind of, I don't have a background in farming and ranching. I just don't. But I go to the livestock show every time, and I'm just enthralled and entertained watching these, especially, and I've said to you guys 1,000 times, when you get a kid that's like 7 years old and is like 75 pounds soaking wet, and they're just handling an 800-pound animal, that to me is impressive. And they do it proficiently. That's the part that gets me. You think a little kid, like, and sure, there's struggles. There always is.
Oh, yeah, it takes work and dedication.
These kids are sorry, I'm saying badass. They're just badass. They're just great kids, you know? And so,
they're incredible.
Yeah. So I invite you to come, you know, if you missed them at the Chaves County Fair, you know, maybe your next opportunity will be Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Please go when you're done eating all the corn dogs and riding the things that spin you around, go check out the livestock arena and go watch a show or two. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's cows or pigs or pigs are just as fun to watch too. Wait, you get a bunch of kids with those boards and pigs that don't want to do what you want them to do.
The pig show's my favorite.
That's
my favorite. Or stop by the ice cream parlor and support the 4-H program in general and go sit down and enjoy a nice sweet snack while you watch it.
There's never been an Eastern New Mexico State Fair where I don't walk into that at least once during the week and get a milkshake or an ice cream cone.
Well, it's got air conditioning, so it's the place to be.
That's the other thing. To be honest, I rarely go into the commercial building through the main commercial building entrance. I always go through the ice cream shop. Get my ice cream. Wanted to do that other door, and then I pop out of the exit. That's how I do it every single time.
And I'll tell you what, this county fair here in July was cooler than I think Eastern was last year. So the weather worked out really well for us.
You know what? There was only 1 or 2 days that were like, "Whoa, it's kind of nasty."
Yeah, I think that Friday was pretty warm. But
I think just the fact it's been 105 every day since, it's kind of like, it wasn't so bad back then.
It was lovely. Yeah, it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But as far as updates and stuff go, I mean, I know we're kind of in fair season, but if there's kids listening and are interested in 4-H, you can sign up and start, and by the way, you can get involved in 4-H and never touch an animal or deal with livestock and all that. There's so many other programs through 4-H that are more technology-based or skill-based or fun-based, shooting sports. That's a very popular one. And those kids compete nationally, statewide. They're going all over the place doing that. If you're into computers and stuff, there's programs for you
everything.
to do all that.
There is a program for everything. We are still doing 4-H days at the library. So we've got Sandart and Hagerman coming up.
Okay. Roswell's, because of the air conditioning situation, those are on hiatus until hopefully soon they'll get the parts they need to get that AC unit fixed. But but the 4-H kid stuff is on hold until they get their AC fixed there. But like you said, Hagerman on at the other libraries here.
Absolutely. So that's very exciting. Come see us there. We'll be at Dragonfly Festival. You can come see us there as well.
You need to go if you've never been. That is really cool too. And sign up. You got to. This is what you need to do. Go to it's friendsofbitterlake.org. Go to that website right now. You'll see the flyer for the Dragonfly Festival. It's free, but they do dragonfly and wildlife tours.
There's so much to do.
And they're free to do, but you got to pre-register for those. And you can't just roll up to the Dragonfly Festival and get on a Dragonfly tour. You got to advance sign up.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Yeah, they fill up fast. So go now to their website. And then you can pick your date and time. There's about 8 or so different times that you can go for, depending on the different tours, and sign up for them. Like I said, they're free, doesn't cost you anything, but they're popular, and you got to sign up and be there on time to do that. Otherwise, they'll give your spot away. And there always are people waiting. You can try that, but your odds are still not. And by the way, they also carry them over into Sunday too. So if they get filled up, they do Dragonfly tours from like in the morning till about noon or 1 o'clock there. So again, go to their website for Dragonfly Fest. But Saturday's the day where you guys will be there and many other organizations will be there. I think usually like BLM's got their fishing pond and all that.
They had so many booths and things to do for everybody in the community last year.
They do their Monarch Butterfly launch. You can sign up. Again, go to the website for free and sign your kids up to do that. And then when they launch their Monarch Butterflies, they grow them. And then at Dragonfly Festival, they release them out to be a part of the herds here. So, and so the kids get to do that. And it's not like the videos you
not to feed on them again.
They're not the tastiest of things.
No, you can actually do videos where a bird ate a monarch butterfly and then it's throwing up, and it's puking that out because of the toxins and that milkweed that are in the monarch.
So fear not, you will not see that. And if you do, keep watching the show because more will happen.
Stay
tuned for part 2.
That's right. Wait for the second video to pop up here. But yeah, and of course that'll be coming up September 6th, I think it is.
7th.
I was wondering about that. And 7th is the Saturday, but it is a 3-day event because Friday night they'll do a Dragonfly talk about it, and then weather permitting they'll have a Star Watch party afterwards where you can go and because they're out in the middle of nowhere out there and you go look at the sky and see all the stars. Bitter Lake's an oasis. It literally is an oasis in the desert. It's a whole different. If you've never been out to Bitter Lake, go out there. Make Dragonfly your first time, but go and check it out. And go different parts of the year. You go in September is way different than when you go in November, even a month or two later when the cranes and it's a big pilot flying J for animals. That's exactly what Bitter Lake is. It's a rest stop. Right?
Yeah, it's a nesting ground.
Yeah, those monarch butterflies they're going to be releasing, those monarchs will go up, join the herd, live for a couple weeks with their whole point to get the herd from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm. They'll go all the way down into Mexico.
Yeah.
And they do that through multiple generations, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Literally. This butterfly was on Earth to go 100 miles south. And then it's done its job and the next group takes over.
Yep.
And that's how it's really cool and fascinating how the monarch butterfly works. But anyway, come out to Dragonfly and learn about butterflies and then come see learn more about 4-H and sign up there, and you can learn more about the programs and tons of other stuff too. So I got sidetracked there. So what else do we want to? I do that from time to time.
I would just say come out to fairs. We've got State Fair the second week in September, and then Eastern Fair is the first week of October. So just look at the projects, check them out. There's stuff beyond animals. There's so many projects beyond animals. We've got over 200 projects total. Check it out, and then you're prepared for open enrollment starting in October when we can let in all of our new friends and find a new spot for y'all to join our family.
Absolutely. By the way, when you're out at the fairs, particularly Eastern, because I know the lay of the land of that one a little bit better, when you're done at the live, walk into the education building.
Yes.
That building, it's got air conditioning is cool, too. So that day that you're like,
sometimes.
Compared to other days I've been out there, it's pretty cool. I walk in there and I'm still like, all right, I'm hanging out with the trains. It's still cool in here. But that being said, that building is, you're going to be blown away if you never walked in there before, because that's where all the projects are for kids and adults. When they enter the home ec stuff to the art and crafts type stuff, you start looking at artwork and things, and you're looking, and it's very detailed and elaborate, and you're like, wow, it's impressive. And then you look close, and a 10-year-old kid did it.
And
you think, I wonder what adult did that. No, that's a 10-year-old.
Yep.
And you get blown. And I'm telling you, do that, and then you walk a couple over, get blown away again with another one. That whole building's full of those.
Oh, you could spend hours in there.
Yeah, that commercials where they had the moments and the poof with the purple cloud and everything. You have like 30 of those walking around in there because it's just, you see something, you're like blown away by, the amazing talent that people, and adults too.
Yep.
Like you're thinking, and then you look and like, I know that guy. I didn't know they had that ability, And by the way, not condoning, but if you find art that you're interested in and want to make deals, they can definitely help you get in touch with the artist, and y'all can work your deals out. But 4-H is not going to, they may put you in touch with them, but they're not going to broker a deal for you. Just saying. But if you find artwork, you never know. That does happen from time to time. People are like, I want it, I need it, I want to own it. And they'll go and talk. I'll give you $1,000 or whatever it is for that thing. It happens. But please, when you're done spinning and ready to throw up, eating all the food and all that, you need a place to wind down and just, even quiet a little bit with all the music and everything. You just need that desensitive. Go to the education building. You're going to be stuck in there for hours. Not stuck. You're going to go in there thinking you're going to be there for 5 minutes. Next thing you know, you're in there for 2 hours because you're just walking around, seeing everything. And then you start seeing the pies and stuff, and you'll be hungry. Like, all right, let's go get some more funnel cakes.
Yeah. That's
it. Let's go find various meats on sticks. Let's go. So please, don't forget the education building when you're out doing your fair stuff, whether it's State Fair or the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. So, good deal. Is there anything else on the 4-H side we want to cover?
I don't think so.
Okay, but like I said, keep checking back. Like, when's the next scheduled? Like, the one for this month was done, but what week is it that you guys do the library or the second?
The 4-H day at the library here in town is the second Wednesday of every month.
So check back when we as we approach the next second Wednesday at the Roswell Public Library to make sure that that's a go. Maybe call a couple days ahead. Just hey, I'm not sure if the AC's back or not. Are you guys still going to be doing? And they'll tell you, no, we can't because of the AC. Or bring the kids. We're game on this weekend. So.
It'll be up on our Facebook too, so you should hunt us down on Facebook and Instagram for all your updates.
Now, maybe we'll shift to Drew here on this because it's just the transition here. You guys are still doing the Master Gardener stuff. At least you did this month.
Yes, Master Gardeners are still rolling. We're meeting every second Wednesday at our office at the Extension office at 5:30. So if you're interested in the Master Gardeners, come connect with us. Come to the meeting. Come see what we're about. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities, and next course will open up in January. So if you are interested, come on in, sign up, and get to know us a little bit and find out if that's your cup of tea.
Absolutely. Now, the Master Gardeners. Now, this is exactly what that is. This isn't, I just bought some seed packs at Roswell Seed and decided I'm going to do gardening today. That's not what this is. I mean, they'll teach people, and that's what they do. But the Master Gardeners, these are people that are like a bunch of gardener Yodas.
Well, it is by far. I mean, once you go through the course, it is a crash course, college level course. But it really is available for anybody and everybody. It's one topic a week that they go through over 16 weeks. And so it is a 16-week commitment when you sign up for it. But it is a wonderful program. You'll get a lot out of it. And then we do a lot of community projects throughout Roswell and Chaves County. And so one of the most recent ones that we did was the Triangle Garden up by Cahoon Park. And so it is an educational garden where we've planted a series of plants that do well here in Chaves County in our climate, and kind of showcase some of that and how to do it, some drip irrigation and different things that you can apply to your own garden.
Absolutely. And that's, and a lot of these tips and tricks, the way they do it, it's the right way, but also workarounds for cheap, cost effective and things, sure, you can spend lots of money on some of these irrigation systems, but especially if you're just a hobby gardener or something, you're not going to be spending that kind of money. So here's some things. No,
but we definitely have education that can help you out at any budget, at any level, and can be more water efficient.
And all Southeast New Mexico knowledge. So like maybe you grew up gardening, but you grew up in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Some of your knowledge is not going to help you here in Southeast New
trust
Mexico.
Me, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
So
it rains down there on a regular.
Yeah, they get moisture and stuff. They actually have nutrients in the soil, things like that, They don't live in a desert. Yeah. But that's so if you always wanted that, and maybe you're new to the area, and you're like, I love gardening, I love doing it, but this New Mexico soil is flummoxed me here.
It is a very different place to grow in, and so it definitely benefits you to get that education.
And that's why you talk to like your Roswell seeding experts, like your master gardeners. They'll tell you different things based on what part of town you live in. If you live on the north end, that you might get different ways to garden than someone living on the south end, just because the dirt is that much different because of the aquifer and things.
And on the west end of town, you're going to be hit really hard with the wind, so you really need to play your microclimates around your house. Yep.
Yeah. So based on where you live, even one end of town to the other can drastically change how you treat that particular piece of plant or whatever there.
Very much so.
That's where the master gardeners come in. So
that's it. And if
talk to them.
Another opportunity for people looking to get into gardening or maybe save their seed. So gardening at the library in September, again, third week in September on Saturday at 10 o'clock at the library. Pending air conditioning, of course.
Now, you did have one for August here.
We did. This last Saturday. We did it on pecan weevil awareness. So make sure if you have a pecan weevil trap, now is the time to put it back up on your pecan tree and be looking for those evil weevils, because we want to find them and get rid of them.
That's right. If you, you've got a pecan tree. That's the whole point of having it, so you can enjoy the fruit of its labor.
Yes.
And if you're not doing the pecan weevils, guess what? You don't get to enjoy. You get all the work and none of the deliciousness.
Exactly. And if you even have just one tree, you're part of the production industry here in Chaves County, and we really want to protect our production, because we are number one in the country for the state of New Mexico in pecan production, and we have a lot less acreage than Georgia, who we normally compete with for the number one or number two spot. Texas, for example, has twice the amount of acres of pecans that New Mexico does, but we outproduce them almost double every year, just because we don't have the pest problems that they do in Texas and other states where pecan trees are native to.
And we got to keep it that way.
And we want to keep it that way.
Hence why we're so vigilant on the pecan weevil.
Please, I know I sound like a broken record every time this year, but please pay attention.
Well, and to be honest, if you do not, then the bad thing happens. Because unfortunately, the pecan weevil's a pretty hardy animal that can go dormant and then come back on you. And
it'll stay in the soil for up to 2 years. I mean, it's a very resilient bugger. Yeah. And but if you're looking at saving your seed from your garden this year, this September, third Saturday in September, come to the library, 10 o'clock, and you'll learn how to save the seed from the plants that you grew this year, whether it's flowers or vegetables.
Nice. Good deal. So then, do that whole circle life thing.
Yes. Yeah. And if you have a pecan tree, but you don't have a pecan weevil trap yet, make sure to call into the office and sign up for one of our workshops where we'll build the trap together.
Yeah, they're pretty easy. They don't, and they're pecan weevils. They're not exactly lions, so you don't big.
No, they're not extremely intelligent.
People are calling, should I bring my gun, Drew? No.
That's a little overkill.
just to put that out there, they're just little tiny weevils. You don't have to build some monstrosity trap here. I just know there's a lot of guys that got Tim the Tool Man mentality.
Oh, I understand.
And they're like, we'll get these weevils. They'll come in with a bazooka and a flamethrower and Lord knows what else. And you're like, this ought to do it right, Drew?
Yes.
Yeah.
It may get rid of the pecan tree too, though.
That's
the problem.
There's that term called scorched earth. It got rid of your problem, but everything else too. So maybe in 10 years you'll have a tree where again that you can get some nuts off of. But anyway, but come to the next one and come and by the way, if you have questions about this stuff, don't hesitate to call the extension office during the day. I got one of these questions like, man, I was on the radar. I heard you were talking about this. I'm having problems. Let me call and ask, and they'll be happy to find that information for you or tell you. You know what? It just so happens we got a Master Gardener class coming up. We're going to be talking about some of that. I invite you to come and learn some more besides it.
And do call the office if you have any questions. I am making my way through my stack. I called 23 people yesterday.
Nice.
So I handled 23 different calls that I've been
Sorry,
needing
Bob,
to get
you were
to.
25. He'll get you today.
That's it.
Very good. But don't hesitate. You got a question about 4-H or anything with the gardener stuff.
That's it.
All right, Tamara. We saved the best for last.
Yay!
Let's talk home ec side. How are things in that world of the extension office?
Oh, they're going good. So things are super busy. So Christmas Showcase is back.
It's the season, yeah.
Yes. So tickets go on sale September 1st. So it's going to be Tuesday, November the 12th this year out at Hobson Hall, just like always.
Yeah.
2 viewings that they can choose from again. So the 1:30 and 6:30.
And they're both exactly the same.
Well.
Oh, different this year.
We do.
Ooh,
so this year
she did on purpose, just so she knows going to do that, just to make me.
We are going to start having small businesses throughout Roswell come and present.
Oh, okay. So you might see different businesses at different times.
So every year there will be a different presenter.
So if you're there for the we all know it, the book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The book will be the same regardless if it's the morning or evening session. But if you want to learn some more about small businesses and some of the different partners in our area, it might behoove you to visit both. But you only get one book.
Yeah, it'll be a DIY showcase just like it always is.
I guess that's a way to get 2 books if you want to gift a book. Because
there is. That is a great one.
And to be honest, that is a thing. People
that is a good gift.
Books left, and they if you can, you give them out. But
they make great stocking stuffers.
Absolutely, and they're different every year. So if you've been getting the books, and if you're like, what book of you speak? So this is what we're talking. I know I jump ahead of myself. So the Christmas showcase is really when it's this, but it's really every year they come out and different presenters have different crafts, foods, holiday related, Christmas decorations, Christmas gifts, Christmas foods, things like that. And each year they demo and you get to try samples, you get to kind of see, maybe even make your own depending on the project and things like that. And then when you're done with the session, they give you a book. And in the book is all these projects we talk about. And every year the book projects are different. So if you went last year or the year before and got a book, this book's got different projects, different. So it's like collect the set, kind of like back in the day when you used to get like the Gone with the Wind collector's plates or something like that. You had to each month go in. Each year you got to go to get the new book. And so if you're one that goes every year to get the book, here's your first warning. November coming up. Get your thing signed up now. And if you got time, maybe sign up for both the midday one and the after work one here.
So tickets go on sale, like we said, September 1. There's an opportunity for the community to participate as well this year, so they can bring us their best DIY Christmas ornament.
So a little country Pinterest.
Yes.
Bring your own.
So we want to see those fabulous DIY Christmas ornaments they're coming out with. So it will be a contest, and then when Christmas Showcase is wrapped up, we will use those and donate them to the assisted living centers around town. So come participate and have fun, and let's see who has the best ornament.
Maybe yours could be in a future book. And then you can tell your grandkids, see, my ornament's in the book in 2024. But no, a joke is, it really is cool. Yeah. It's such a great opportunity. People come, you get sample foods, you get to try all these cool Christmas treats. And by the way, you get this great book with great ideas. And And if you find, and by the way, that's the great thing. If you know other people, see if you can borrow their passbooks and let them rummage through it. There might be some
We
great
have some
ideas.
of those available in the office too.
maybe
So
we
if they
can
miss
procure.
a year, call the office and let's see if we have it.
Yeah. Is it? Do you make like a donation for one of those, or is it $5, or you
So the tickets that you purchase for this year will get you the book.
That's included, yeah.
right? So, but for past years, the ones that we have in the office are like a quarter.
Okay. So they're like going to a thrift store to buy books. You can get them dirt cheap. Yeah, you can get the whole set for like $6.
Right.
But but it is really a great. Like if you've never been to one, I highly recommend at least go to one of them, the midday or the evening. I get it. We generally set it up because if you're busy one, you're probably available at the other, or vice versa. But if you can go to both, please do to learn more. But if you only do one to get the book, at least do that. If you've never been before, highly recommend it. There's such great ideas, like especially if you love crafting and stuff. I guarantee you're going to walk in there and be like, I never thought of that. What a great idea! Even if you quote yourself, I'm a craft guru. Like I know the ins and outs of crafting. I bet there's a few tricks that you might learn at the showcase. Like every year that happens.
Well, and the extension clubs make it fun and entertaining at the same time. They will tell you the do nots as well as the do's.
The life lessons that they learned the hard way.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, young people, this is why it's good to talk to people older than you. This is why, because
The third Thursdays here at Senior Circle.
good deal. So come and do. And so if you've never done crafting before, maybe that's your chance to do. And and that's just it. I think everyone in some way, shape, or form loves to do crafts. And I know there's people saying, "Nuh-uh, not me, boy." And I'm like, just you didn't get it presented to you right. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: you don't have to be good at it.
Exactly.
To do it.
That's exactly right.
It's like golf, people. I've seen all you guys stinking up the golf course out there. You don't have to be good at it to like it. Yeah.
Were you behind me?
Yeah. but that's also craft too, because it's art. You follow the rules or don't follow the rules. That's the beauty of art. You know, you do what you. I mean, now granted, if you're serious in art, you got to know the rules and follow the rules to break the rules. That's just how
figure out which ones
once you get to Picasso level of art, you think you can break the rules because you either.
But some of the best ones are those uh-ohs.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I've had
but
plenty
that's where
of
I
those.
think arts and crafts comes in. Yeah. Drew's like, that's my middle name. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Drew,
yeah.
Uh-oh Garnet.
That's gonna stick.
Sorry about that. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes, the masterpiece comes with the unintentional, I was trying to do this and it turned into this and quite frankly it's better. Yeah. Food does that too sometimes. Sometimes not, but sometimes it does. It's
That's very
I put
true.
too much cinnamon in. Turns out it's better now. So, sometimes.
Grab the wrong spice.
Mhm.
That happens.
I know a lot of people got salty food thinking it was sweet. Or vice versa.
That goes back to why I don't bake.
That's right. Like, I think I put too much salt in this cake.
Hey, y'all, full disclosure, I did that as a kid.
Oh, I did it last week.
Mother's Day
But yeah, that's cooking. But that's fun part too. I mean, and that's like the families, like that's to me that's grown up. I mean, mom, Christmas time, you're in there thinking you're helping, but not really. You know what I mean? That's to me that's what you're creating here. So please get involved with these. That's why you come to the Christmas showcase and these things. So you can create these memories with your families in those moments where and the screw-ups included. That's what makes the memories the memories. Remember that time Mom burned a whole thing of cake? Them gingerbread men were burnt. Whatever it is. That happens.
Well, it took a lot of frosting that
Yeah,
year.
or I helped out, and now the burnt batch was the one I helped out with, or whatever. It's just we did gingerbread houses, and someone didn't tell me the roof goes on the top.
Or maybe the story's going to be after the Christmas showcase, those gingerbread cookies actually turned out well.
Oh, exactly. It's like, last year Mom made these things. They were god awful. Now we went to the showcase, and Mom's cookies are actually palatable now. All the above. But that's we're talking about learning skills, but at the end of the day, all this stuff is creating memories, family, getting it 4-H. Creating those family memories together, because 4-H, yes, the kids are involved, but it's a family.
Oh my goodness,
it's a family thing,
very much.
Whether it's livestock or one of the things that have nothing to do with livestock, it's a family thing. When the kids are involved, the parents are involved, and and that's the thing too. We'd love to encourage that because the way 4-H and any youth organization goes is the parents, the people that are willing to step up and volunteer and do that. And I'm sure, Katie, you could use lots of volunteers in your 4-H program.
Always
looking
so
for more.
Parents out there listening, if your kids are going and you want to get more involved, please do. Or if you're wanting to get involved, bring your kids with you and let's do all this together and say, yeah, my kids are age appropriate now to be in 4-H. Now it's time for me to get involved in 4-H too. Which, by the way, they can start as early as
5. Clover buds start at 5. Yes,
so
sir.
they can get them in there as early as 5. So if you're thinking 4.5, but 6 more months, and you're going to be out of my hair for a little bit each day. So I know how parents think. There's a few like that. It's like, yes, 5. We can start them at 5. So I tracked on home ec. As far as some of the fall stuff, like we said, we got the showcase that's coming up here in November. Class is about showing you different ways to enjoy your pizza while still maintaining in your numbers and you're keeping your sugars and your A1Cs and all those things on the right. Maybe we can get to a point where they're not jabbing you with Ozempic or plumping you with pills and doing any of that kind of stuff. That's just all the time we got to go. But that's the kind of stuff that it does. So please call and ask and inquire about that. Get signed up here because what happens is you're going to show up in January and be like, it's already full. Sorry. Now's the time to get that taken care of. So,
absolutely.
Get on the books.
If you have any questions about anything related to 4-H or master gardening or home ec stuff, don't hesitate to call the extension office. What's that phone number?
575-622-3210.
Or come by the office on Chisholm. It's 201
200 East Chisholm, Suite 4.
There you go. I knew it's on Chisholm. I can never get the thing there. How much longer before you're putting in your new digs?
We're supposed to move next year.
Next year, so we're still a year out. Okay, I know it's coming. I know you're
Construction
excited,
takes some time.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to get a new. It's in renovate now. So.
Yes,
we're very thankful to the county for that.
Absolutely,
yes, absolutely.
Air conditioning will work good, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Hey, thank you, Mike.
All right, it's 9:01. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
Vascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla Espanol.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. With the unofficial end of summer looming, lots of Americans are taking that final holiday trip. Correspondent Julie Walker reports on Labor Day travel.
This Labor Day weekend, AAA spokeswoman Aixa Diaz says travel is up 9% from last year, and the TSA is expecting a